Good afternoon. I call the Knox County Commission to order for January 29th, 2026 at 5 p.m. If everyone will sign in, please. Okay. It won't sign in.
Uh-oh, something isn't right.
Yeah, it's not.
68.16.
I can go ahead and start, I guess. Can
I would get to it first.
I? All right. We're having a little bit of technical trouble with our electronic voting, but we're going to go ahead and get some stuff out of the way. I would like to recognize State Representative Dave Wright is with us today, and Ed Schaus, a former county commissioner, Superintendent John Reiswick, and I think that is it. So, Madam Clerk, can you go ahead and call roll without it being signed in? Okay.
Commissioner Rawls.
Present.
Commissioner Derrick.
Here.
Commissioner Oster.
Here.
Commissioner Jackson.
Here.
Commissioner Russell.
Here.
Commissioner Hill.
Here.
Commissioner Lee.
Here.
Commissioner Thompson.
Here.
Commissioner Fox.
Here.
Commissioner Jay.
Here.
Commissioner Frazier. All
Present.
members are present. I'll call the roll for junior commissioners. Junior Commissioner Brown.
Here.
Junior Commissioner Partain.
Here.
Junior Commissioner Cash.
Here.
Junior Commissioner Casey. Junior Commissioner Pack. Junior Commissioner Martinez.
Here.
Junior Commissioner Bradley. Junior Commissioner Hall. Bradley is here, I'm sorry. Okay. Junior Commissioner Hall. Junior Commissioner Browning.
Here.
Junior Commissioner Bowers.
Here.
Junior Commissioner Hoppenrath.
Here.
Thank you. Seated to my right is Vice Chair Kim Frazier and Deputy Law Director Mike Moyers. Seated to my left is Ms. Kim Ellis and Haley Evans with the Knox County Clerk's Office. So I will now turn it over to Commissioner Rawls for our devotion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Normally, I would take the devotion, but today I thought it would be imperative if I brought one of my advisors, a person that a dear friend of mine, and he's also my pastor. But Reverend Sam Brown, if you'd come down, sir. But Reverend Sam Brown is the pastor and the presiding elder of Logan Temple AME Church, and I thought it would be prudent for us to have a man of God who's been to seminary, who understands the word, speak to and open us up. So I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Rawls, and to all of our commissioners and junior commissioners, thank you for your service and thank you for this opportunity this evening. As we come together to carry out the work of this county, we pause to remember who we are and who we serve. We serve in one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, accountable not only to the people, but to a higher standard. A prophetic prescription from Amos chapter 5, verse 24 says, "Let justice roll down like waters, and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream." This echoes a powerful truth we hold today. Righteousness is God's nature. Justice is God's plan. And deliverance is God's specialty. When righteousness grounds us and justice guides us, our service can become a steady stream of relief and respite, a deliverance of good for this community. Let us pray. God of righteousness and justice, we thank you for the opportunity to serve. As we open this meeting, we acknowledge that we are one nation under God, seeking your wisdom and direction. Let justice roll through our decisions like mighty waters. Let righteousness flow through our actions without interruption. Shape our hearts to reflect your nature. Align our work with your plan for justice and bring deliverance where your community is in need. Grant us unity, discernment, and courage to lead with integrity for the good of all. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. I'll now turn it over to Commissioner Frazier for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If you are able, please stand with a proper salute to our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I would like to take just a moment and thank our Knox County Engineering Public Works crews last week who did a great job on our roads, even though we didn't get what was expected, but they are back out today and the rest of this weekend to do it. So I just wanted to thank them for the hard work. Our emergency workers, our officers, we appreciate the work. If it's at the pleasure of the body, after we set the agenda, we'll entertain a motion on the education and general government consent calendars, honorary resolutions and presentations, and then the rest of the agenda. And I apologize for my voice tonight. The chair will now entertain a motion to, no, I've got to do my stuff first. I'm jumping ahead. For additions, we have 18 through 21. Withdrawals, 42. Defer to February is 24, 25, 26, and 40. Again, that's 24, 25, 26, and 40. Defer to April is number 41, and defer to June is number 39. Our non-consent is 22, 27 through 32, 36 through 38, and 43. Again, that's non-consent 22, 27 through 32, 36 through 38, and 43. I would also like to move public forum up until after presentations. And I would like to do the appointments of the farm and also BZA, move it to after honorary resolutions. So our appointees don't have to wait. Chair will now entertain a motion to set the agenda.
Motion to set the agenda as presented.
Who was second?
Madam Chair, I have a comment to make before we take a vote, please.
There. Who was second? Okay.
Yes.
Commissioner Fox.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I missed what you said about number 42, because it was my intention to, I thought I'd withdrawn that at the work session to be
It is withdrawn.
It is withdrawn.
oh, okay. Oh, I see. All right, thank you.
Got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Jay, second by Commissioner Frazier. We still can't vote. Do we want to do,
Madam Chair, I have a quick question.
yes.
What was the last piece you said? I heard you say you moved presentation or public forum to after presentations, and then what?
The appointments for the farm and the BZA after the honorary resolution, so they don't have to,
Got it.
yeah, 36 and
All right,
37.
thank you.
Thank you. All right, we've got a motion on the floor in a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. I'll now entertain a motion to approve the education and general consent calendars. I got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Durrett, second by Commissioner Jay. Any discussion? Commissioner Thompson? Okay. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. All right, Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 22 is Resolution R-261101. It's a resolution recognizing January as Human Trafficking Prevention Month.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second?
We have a motion and a second.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you. I would like to present this honorary resolution. Whereas human trafficking occurs when a person is recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, provided, purchased, or obtained through force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of the performing labor or providing services, labor trafficking, or engaging in commercial sex acts, sex trafficking, and whereas it's estimated that approximately 27.6 million people are trafficked around the world, and as many as 2,100 of East Tennessee alone. And whereas human trafficking erodes personal safety, dignity, and liberty, as well as the health and safety of communities at large. And whereas human trafficking does not discriminate based on age, sex, race, color, or national origin, but is, however, grounded in the inequitable conditions of the relationship and society, and disproportionately affects vulnerable individuals and marginalized communities. And whereas the need is great to remove the veil of secrecy that allows human trafficking to thrive, disrupt the system it depends upon to flourish, and mobilize community support around its survivors of human trafficking and help them as they seek to recover, rebuild their lives. And whereas a unified response by allies, professionals, law enforcement, prosecutors, judges, victim service providers, health professionals, volunteers, and others is needed to provide safety, justice, and healing to survivors, hold offenders accountable, and promote the welfare of the community. And whereas the Tennessee Counter-Trafficking Alliance, through the Community Coalition Against Human Trafficking in East Tennessee, exists to educate Tennesseans about the realities and pervasive of human trafficking, foster collaborative innovation and preventions efforts, provide comprehensive trauma-informed aftercare services and survivors, and advocate for more proactive legislation. And whereas during Human Trafficking Awareness Month and throughout the year, Knox County has provided an opportunity to celebrate the collaboration and work that has been done while rededicating ourselves to all that is still left to do, to reflect upon the honor, the resilience, perseverance, and courage of survivors, and to urge everyone to recognize that we have an active part to play in protecting the most vulnerable in our communities and ensuring survivors receive the care, support, and services they need. Therefore, be it resolved by the Knox County Commission as follows. The Knox County Commission and Knox County Mayor hereby recognize the month of January 2026 as Human Trafficking Prevention Month, and January 11th, 2026 as Human Trafficking Awareness Day, aligning with the state of Tennessee and the rest of the nation in renewing our pledge to remember victims and survivors of human trafficking and reaffirming our commitment to end their exploitation in communities across Knox County. Be it further resolved that this resolution is to take effect from and after its passage as provided by the Charter of Knox County, Tennessee, the public welfare providing it. Would you like to speak?
Thank you. As was just read, for those of you who may not know who we are and what we do, we are an anti-trafficking victim services organization that has been working with survivors in our area since 2017. We are headquartered here in Knox County, although we do work with survivors all across East Tennessee. We are one of 4 nonprofit organizations that together form the Tennessee Counter-Trafficking Alliance, which was an alliance that was established by the governor's office in 2015. Part of our work is that we cooperate with government agencies such as TBI and DCS when it comes to a coordinated statewide counter-trafficking response. As was just read, human trafficking really flourishes behind a veil of secrecy. It oftentimes does not look like what we expect for it to look like, especially in our area. So we are very appreciative of Mayor Jacobs and this county commission for just bringing, just supporting our work and our organization and bringing awareness to this issue, and also creating this space to remember and honor survivors in our communities. Thank you.
Yes. Commissioners, will you come down, please?
There you go. You're welcome.
All right, Madam Clerk. Next item, please.
The next item is number 36, Resolution 110. It's reappointing Commissioner Adam Thompson and Larson J. and appointing a farmer and a farm woman to the Agricultural Extension Committee. The terms expire December 31st, 2027.
Thank you. Do I have a motion? We have got two, no, we've got 4 names. We got 3 for female, 1 for a male. So I'll open up the floor for nominations. Commissioner Thompson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to nominate Lee Aglehart and Pam Stout.
Okay. All right. Do we have any other nominations? All right, Commissioner Fox?
Yes, Madam Chair, I would like to nominate Karen Walkup. She's from the 9th District. I nominate her as the farm woman.
All right, anyone else? Commissioner Jay?
I'd like to nominate Emily Brewer.
Okay. All right, so we have all 3 women. We have Emily Brewer, Karen Walkup, and Pamela Stout, and we only had 1 for the male, is Lee Englehart. So I guess we will start District 1. Commissioner Rawls?
Am I voting on the women and men or just the woman?
Yes.
Okay, give me the 2 names again, I'm sorry.
We have to do this all one? Yeah, I have to call the roll. Okay, all right, never mind.
Yep. Yep. I vote for Emily Brewer, ma'am.
Okay. Commissioner Darrett,
Emily Brewer.
Commissioner Oster,
Emily Brewer.
Commissioner Jackson,
Brewer.
Commissioner Russell,
Stout.
Commissioner Hill,
Stout.
Commissioner Lee,
Walkup.
Commissioner Thompson,
Stout.
Commissioner Fox, Commissioner Jay,
Brewer.
Commissioner Frazier,
Stout.
All right. Does anybody wish to change their vote? Okay, so Ms. Walkup drops off with the least number, and so now it will be between Stout and Brewer.
Commissioner Darrett,
Brewer.
Commissioner Oster,
Brewer.
Commissioner Jackson,
Brewer.
Commissioner Russell,
Stout.
Commissioner Hill,
Stout.
Commissioner Lee,
Stout.
Commissioner Thompson,
Stout.
Commissioner Fox, Commissioner Jay,
Brewer.
Commissioner Frazier,
Stout.
Commissioner Rawls.
Brewer.
Motion to cease nominations and place the names in for a vote.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are we gonna go ahead and do Mr.? Because he's the only, so we're filling in the resolution now. That would include his name. Yes, ma'am. He was the only.
Do I have a second on Commissioner Jay's
Yes, you did.
motion? I do. Okay, Commissioner Jackson, thank you.
Madam Chair, would you read the motion again with the names, please?
Yes.
So it's reappointing Commissioners Adam Thompson and Larson J., and appointing appointing Lee Eichelhart, farmer, and Pamela Stout, farmwoman, to the Agricultural Extension Committee.
Thank you.
I will now open the vote. And you may cast your vote. You may change your vote. And voting is closed. Madam Clerk? It passed 11 yes. Congratulations, Ms. Stout and Mr. Ingert, and thank you for being willing to serve. All right, Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Item number 37 is Resolution R-26-1-111. It's accepting the resignation of Doug Lloyd, District 3, on the Knox County Board of Zoning Appeals, and appointing Craig Billitz to complete the unfulfilled term of Mr. Lloyd on the board, which term expires September 30th, 2026.
Thank you. I've got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Oster and a second by Commissioner Frazier. Voting is open. You may change your vote. Commissioner Rawls? All right, voting is closed. Madam Clerk? That passed 11-0. Thank you very much. Next item, please.
Okay, we're back to presentations, which is item number 23, presentation, Knox County Schools Annual Report.
Thank you. Welcome, Dr. Riswick.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of commission and junior commissioners. Great to see you here as well tonight. thank you for giving us this chance to come and spend a few minutes and update you kind of on where we are as a Knox County school system. We'll be talking about, hopefully you all have your copies of this, but this is our third annual report, something that we started 3 years ago, really just to try to be as transparent as possible and hold us accountable to what we say we're going to do. We work with our board and we set an annual plan every year that has lots of metrics and lots of objectives in it so that we can shoot for those, align our resources to that, and try to make better outcomes for our students. So I'm going to have Ms. Lautner speak to some of those in a minute, but I'll get us started on that. I want to start just by thanking you, the commissioners. I don't get to come before you a lot. Thank you for what you do. Thank you. It's great to work. As I go around the state, it's great. You know, people ask, how is it in your neck of the woods? What is it like in Knox County? And it's great to work with a commission who understands the value of education, understands that it is the future. I mean, our mission and what we do every day is really work hard to make sure every one of our 60,000 students graduates with a plan ready to be successful and hopefully stay in Knox County and be part of that. So it's great to have a commission that understands that. You all do a great job funding our system. We, in turn, try to do a good job with those money. And this part of what this is so that you can see what your return on investment is for your investment in us. So thank you very much. Also, I just want to say, again, it's great. I mean, our board, when I talk about who we are, our board does a great job of that too. Strategic plan, voting for these goals and aligning to what we want to do. And again, that can't happen without you all on the financial end. So on behalf of the board, thank you for what you do as well. We'll go ahead, if you don't mind, to advance to the first slide. Sometimes it's good to pause and have a picture of who Knox County schools are. When you look at us, about 58,000 students plus students, that fluctuates from given year. We are the third largest district in the state. We are the 68th largest district in the country. So we represent a lot of students. What's unique to us is that we are truly an urban, rural, and suburban district. We have all different groups, and you guys get to experience that as well in Knox County with all the different values and thoughts that go into that. We think that's a blessing. I think you guys do too. It's fun to be able to have those conversations and really get all viewpoints on that. If you see to the right, really our goal is our students all leave with one of three things. We want them to demonstrate this before they leave, all students. We want them to leave ready to enroll in a post-secondary institution, and we want students to demonstrate that while they're here by taking great dual enrollment courses, by taking advanced placement courses, IB courses, those sorts of things. We want them to know that they're going to be successful if they enroll. We want them to prove it to us when they're in high school and there's still teachers and families around them. We also say employment, but we don't want them to have just be ready for any job. We want them to earn the industry certifications that they need for a high-wage, high-demand job. And again, hopefully that they'll do it here in our region. And then finally, one we've really stressed recently, and I want to shout out to Mayor Jacobs as well. He's been very supportive of that, but is enlist. Really looking at our junior ROTC programs, really giving our students opportunities to work with recruitment, to talk about what that benefit is to them if they serve our country, things through like the GI Bill, ways that they can gain skills and be part of that. So that's something that we've worked very hard on as well. Next slide, please. I get to tell this story really quick. This is year 4 for me, which is kind of crazy. I guess it means I'm getting old. But you know, it wasn't that long ago. The first couple months that I was superintendent, we got our state designation from the state, based again on where our scores are, lots of data points that go into that. And one of the first things we learned was that we were a district in need of improvement, which put us in Knox County schools in the bottom 5% of districts in the state of Tennessee. At that point, you know, we weren't going to hide from that. We held a press conference at Copper Ridge. We brought some community partners around us, and we said that that would not be acceptable. Knox County should never be in that shape. Over the course of the next couple of years, what we realized we needed to do, we had to be very intentional and build systems back. We had to be serious about aligning our dollars, aligning our people, making sure every day we were doing the things that needed to be to reach every one of our students. Through that work and hard work of our teachers and our principals aligning to that vision, the next year in 2024, we became a satisfactory district. And really for us, that meant implementing the systems that we had put in place and being very intentional about the dollars that we spent. We had 2 years as a satisfactory district. We once again told the public Knox County shouldn't be a satisfactory. It's better than being in need of improvement, but we can do better. And I'm happy to say that this year, we were named an advancing district in the state. So very hard for a district our size with all the demographics that we have to hit all those targets to get there. So very rare for a large district to get there. And again, kudos to our principals and our teachers that work very hard to make that happen every day. So just want you all to know, very intentional in how we work that. The last 4 years, we've seen some great growth, and I'll turn it over to Ms. Lautner. Some things we're really proud of. We've seen a 10%, over a 10% growth in both our math and ELA scores over the last 4 years. Pretty big deal when you're in the mid-40s to almost 50% in some of those at this point. The last 2 years, we've seen record low in vacancies. We have about 4,900 teachers. We hired a guy out of Indianapolis Public School 4 years ago. We built a whole plan around how to do that. We tried to invest our dollars wisely to keep our teachers. We've had less than 10 vacancies to start the last 2 school years. So there's no doubt that's a big deal. That is bucking a trend nationally if you know anything about the teaching workforce. So our teachers are coming, they're here. We've actually seen the opposite happen where we had teachers in the past leave the district. We now see teachers from surrounding districts coming to Knox County to be part of what's going on. We also saw this, our growth has been in every subgroup. You can look and kind of say, well, great, we're making gains, but we want to look at every subgroup that we have, our special education students, our low socioeconomic students, our homeless students, like all of those. We've seen growth in every one of our subject areas in every one of our subgroups during that time. It's also 4 consecutive years of growth that we have stacked. That's not happened in a really long time in Knox County schools. And I'll say this all in my closing remark. It's important that we've done this by being smart with our dollars. We've reduced the district office by 60+ positions during these 4 years as well, and continue to see improvement for our kids by putting our dollars closest to our kids where it matters. So thank you again for a chance to come speak. I'm going to have Ms. Lautner walk you through really quickly, and hope you have a chance to look at our annual report soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Raswick.
All right, Madam Chair, Commissioners, Junior Commissioners, thank you so much for having us here this evening to present to you all. If we could proceed to the next slide, that would be excellent. So like Dr. Raswick said, you have our 3rd edition of the annual report in front of you. It is a dense document, and so I'm not going to go page by page, but we did, for the sake of transparency, both to you all as our funding agent and also to the community, we wanted to at least go through the highlights. And so that's what I'm going to take a few moments this evening to do. And so we can proceed to the next slide. And so if you look at this slide, I'm going to direct you to pages 14 through 17 in your annual report. Feel free to follow along with me or not. These are little tags up at the top on the screen that you'll be able to see as I'm going through the highlights. If you want to learn more about something that we've shared, that's where you'll find that information. So on those pages 14 through 17, you'll see a deep dive into the results of our annual action plan. So our annual action plan is kind of our annual compact with the Board of Education and also with the community at large. So we pass this every year. These are a series of milestones and objectives, targets that we know we need to hit to be on track to deliver on our mission for the sake of Knox County and the future of our community. Based on the annual action plan that was set this past year, and you can see they're broken down by our 4 core district priorities: excellence in foundational skills, great educators in every school, career empowerment and preparation, success for every student, and then just a hard look at the leadership of the district. Based on our results last year, of the 37 objectives that we set with the Board of Education, we met 23 of those targets. We fell short but made progress on 10 of those targets, and we did not meet 4 of those targets. And so when we think about our goal setting, we try to strike a balance between ambition, but also what's achievable. When we look at results like this, we like to think that we delivered and that we have set a pretty good range of targets. We're going to keep an eye on those made progress targets. That might be strategies that need a little bit more time to incubate, work that we need to go a little bit deeper in, but we're seeing results, and we want to give those results time to take root and to thrive. In that did not meet expectations, we're going to be looking at what worked, what didn't, what do we need to retool, and making changes as we move ahead into the next year. And so if we can move to the next slide, what you'll see is what these results look like in practice. So as you take the progress that was made last year and you apply it to actual measurable results, this is what that looks like: 4 years of consecutive gains. I'll say this: when we got our data this past year, we dug into our archives to try to find out what was the last time you saw 4 years of consecutive gains in every subject area in Knox County schools. If that moment in time exists, it predates our archival record. So this is a profound moment for us. This is a milestone for us as a district. Normally, when we are looking at charts of this kind for broad scale data like this, it looks like an EKG. You see peaks and you see valleys, right? You don't see just a standard trajectory upward. So we're excited to see that. And when we look at charts like this, we're really going to focus in on two specific areas of interest. One is the gap between that far right column, our 2025 data, and 100%, because we're nowhere close to where we want to be. We're making a lot of progress, but we're also going to keep our foot on the pedal to make sure that we're continuing to accelerate year over year. The other thing we're looking at is the student impact. There are a lot of numbers on that chart, but what they mean in practice is pretty profound. So just last year alone, this data reflects 988 more students proficient in ELA, English Language Arts, over 1,200 more students proficient in math, and over 200 students who have hit, 200 more students who have hit the state's Ready Grad rating, saying these are students who have performed at a level that makes us feel confident they're ready for life after graduation. And that's what we're focused on as a district. Students' educational trajectory and their lifelong success. If we can go to the next slide, we can see how we start to think about just the work at large and some of the strategies that we've been implementing and where we're seeing fruits of our labor. So in the annual report, it's organized by division. We have 4 major operational divisions. Each division is led by an assistant superintendent who did not realize their picture was going to be on the screen tonight, so I'm sure they're thrilled with me, but we know that we're a vast district, we're a large district, tough to navigate sometimes. So if there's anything in the annual report and you're wondering, who do I reach out to? I want to learn more about that work. These are the folks that you'll reach out to. Our academics division is led by Dr. Keith Wilson. And you can see just some of the major highlights in this area. Like Dr. Reiswick said, over 10% gains over the last 4 years in math and ELA proficiency, unprecedented, right? If you look at the green boxes down there at the bottom, this is really a reflection of our focus on the 865 academies. And at their heart, our 865 academies in our high schools are really focused on small learning communities, teams of adults who know every single student in their academy, and are working toward matching students, connecting students to meaningful experiences and opportunities, much like serving as a junior commissioner, to get some exposure into the workforce, to get a taste for what life after graduation might feel like and look like for them so they can graduate with confidence. So I strongly encourage, if you look at nothing else in the annual report, I would dig into some of the testimonials, the student testimonials on these pages, because they're pretty profound and pretty impactful. Also want to give a shout out to Lonsdale Elementary School. This is a great story. Some of you may know, some of you may not, that the state puts out a list of priority schools each year. These are schools that have historically performed in the bottom 5% of this state. This is a very tough list to come off of, and Lonsdale Elementary School came off that list last year based on their progress and the achievement led by the teachers of the school, the administrators of the school, the families and the students, all working together. And this is a huge, huge testament to just the support within that community and the strong focus on academic achievement that we see there. And I'll say this, I may be putting the cart before the horse, but just as a sneak peek, we anticipate celebrating another school rolling off the list next year. So that's a continued testament to the work in our Region 5 schools. On the horizon in the academic space, I actually think this is one of the most exciting strategies. So if you want to dig into one, I would dig into this one in the annual report. Instructional coherence sounds like a word salad, but when we think about instructional coherence, we're really talking about a strategy to bridge achievement gaps in students. So looking at what type of supports do we provide to our struggling learners? This is a different way of thinking about how we provide those supports. I'm not going to tell you everything tonight because I know you have a packed agenda, but I will say based on this strategy in particular, we saw in our pilot test schools 1.3 months of added gains in ELA and literacy proficiency. So that's something we know we want to explore further. That's work that we're scaling this year, and we're going to continue to monitor for full-scale implementation throughout the district. Can we go to the next page? In business and talent, We know that at the heart of everything that we do are our people. So this division, led by Ms. Jennifer Himmelgarn, is really focused on retention and recruitment. And you can see from the chart, Dr. Reiswick alluded to this, we're seeing some pretty exciting progress in this space. So historically, we would look like any other district of our size between years 2021 through 2024. You can see between 93 and 78%, not percent, those are raw numbers, between 93 and 78 teacher vacancies at the start of this year. If you multiply that by about 20 students, that's 1,800 to 1,500 students beginning the school year without a teacher. And that's not acceptable. So that was our reality for 3 years in a row. For the past 2 years, we have started the school year with fewer than 10 vacancies. We want the number to be 0. Jennifer and her team have a plan to bring that number down to 0. But we know that this is, again, the heart of our work. It's a testament to the work that the HR team and our talent acquisition team are leading, but it's also a testament to our school leaders. If you look at the numbers on the left, the fact of the matter is people want to work for Knox County Schools, and they want to be part of the work that our schools are leading, and that's keeping talent in our classrooms, and our kids are benefiting from that talent. So if we can go on to the next slide. Operations, led by Dr. Adams. This isn't something people generally think about when you think about a school system. It's a lot of the nuts and bolts, but it's critical work to making sure that our learning environments are safe, are secure, and are welcoming for our students. 9 million square feet of educational space is pretty expansive. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of nuts and bolts to dig into, and Dr. Adams' team does a phenomenal job making sure that our spaces are conducive to learning and are truly, truly ready to support our students. 355 buses traveling more than 3 million miles every year, delivering students to and from school. We run a small enterprise to feed students in our school nutrition department. We have anywhere from 2 to 3 meals a day being consumed by students at our schools, and that's helping them learn and be ready to learn the moment they arrive in the classroom. And then just want to give a huge shout out to our officers. You all know student safety, school safety is always at the top of our minds. We have one of the largest law enforcement footprints in the state of Tennessee, and these are highly trained individuals who have a heart for kids and a heart for keeping kids safe. In this world, I will also say for operations, huge, huge success for them. Milestone that they're celebrating coming out of last year is a multi-year completion of a comprehensive facilities assessment. So you all probably know this because we share your debt service, and we are incredibly grateful to you all for that and financing our capital improvement plan. But in the past, sometimes we have fallen trapped to the squeaky wheel syndrome, right? So absence of good data for decision making, it's tough sometimes to know which project matters most. Coming out of this comprehensive facilities assessment, we have a framework now to look at over 13,000 district-wide assets. That's buildings, that's HVAC systems, it's everything in between to determine where we spend our time with routine maintenance, how we allocate projects on the capital plan, so that we're being intentional, good stewards of our dollars and the dollars that you entrust us with. If we can go on to the next slide, I'm almost finished. In the student services world, led by Dr. Brown, this is really a division dedicated to looking at diversifying, personalizing, individualizing learning for our students, and they have a lot of celebrations to cover. If you look at the green boxes there, you can see double-digit gains in graduation rates for some of our most vulnerable, historically underserved student groups. That's pretty impressive. Those are students who are graduating now, ready to succeed in the workforce, and Knox County as a community is better off for it. If you look below that box, you can see 12.3% of our ELL students last year met criteria to exit that program and spend full time, all of their time in the general education setting, which is exactly where we want our students. This is almost doubling that exit rate. So there's some exciting strategies that went into that work, but at the end of the day, it really focuses on continued concentrated supports as early as possible to maximize the amount of time students are spending in the traditional learning environment alongside their peers. And then if you move to the right, this is some very exciting work, this right-hand column, multi-year work that's been going on for about 2 or 3 years now to dig into our special education services and supports. You can see on the screen Last year, this team completed an external audit on our student education or special education services and supports that resulted in 14 recommendations and 44 action items for the district. And so there's a lot to unpack there, and the team has been piloting some strategies over the course of this year to determine how we want to move forward and to deliver on those 14 recommendations that will result in a 5-year strategic plan for special education that will go into effect next year. And so we're very much looking forward to that work as well. And this is my last slide, if we move to the next slide. This is really just a testament to the Board of Education. I know many of you all also participated in our strategic planning process. Really appreciate you taking the time to do that and to engage in our 5-year strategic plan. So over the course of last year, we were able to establish our roadmap for the next 5 years. There's a QR code in the annual report if you want to find out more and learn about that. But there are some very exciting new initiatives that we're lifting in that space. The instructional coherence work that I mentioned earlier is part of that, continuing to leverage technology to give teachers back time to spend closest to the student, because we know that's where we want to maximize their time. Expanding our innovative schools work like our LNN Academy and our CMA Academy gives students some really unique learning opportunities that we know are immensely valuable to them and really meet the unique needs of our students across the district. And so wanting to spend some time investing in those programs as well, expanding them across the district. And then this is my favorite, reimagining middle school. So we know what we're doing in the elementary school space. We know what we're doing in the high school space. And middle school is just that nut no one has seemed to crack yet, and that's nationwide, and we really want to take a crack at it. So we're going to be spending some time over the course of this year just thinking about middle school and the critical role it plays in a student's educational career. So excited to see what comes out of that work moving into next school year. And finally, continuing to engage partners to catalyze the learning environment. And so I will end, we can go to the next slide, just by saying thank you to you all, to the Knox County community. This is an exciting year for us. We don't always get to celebrate our data. Sometimes we're just explaining our data. And that comes from a community working together in concert with one another to do what's best for students, because we know our students are the future for our county. So thank you all so much for this opportunity. We have our team here to answer any questions that you may have, but again, we just appreciate the opportunity to share.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Rawls?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Lautner, don't go anywhere yet.
Okay. Yes.
I just want to say, like, looking at the vacancy rates, to move from 78 vacant classroom,
I was trying to figure out who was talking, sorry.
I'm sorry. But to move from 78 vacant classrooms to 10, that's impressive.
It is.
So I want to say, like, whatever you're doing, I don't know what it is, continue doing that.
Yes, sir.
Because no, like, there shouldn't be vacant classrooms, but like, keep going. And then I also wanted to talk about the graduation rates. It's 5% for economically disadvantaged, and then about 12% for homelessness. And I don't know what the previous number was, but if that number is driving up and to the right, continue doing what you're doing, pour gasoline on it. And I'd love to see that jump like a couple of percentage rates,
We would
a couple of
too.
percentage points.
We're getting very close to the 100% ceiling, and we're excited about that. So 93% for the district, but we know our next big push is focusing in on those student subgroups and continuing to close that gap. And that's really the heart of the 865 Academy's work.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you so much for the presentation. Oh, I'm sorry. You're over there, okay. It didn't show, Commissioner J.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I hit my button. I promise. Dr. Raswick, first off, thank you for featuring one of our former junior commissioners on page 26. I don't know if you did that just to butter us up, but we're great.
We do our
for that.
homework. No.
Thank you for the hard work, and for I always appreciate that you come every year and talk about all the data, sometimes annual reports are all about the pretty pictures and the great stories, but I always appreciate the transparency of saying, here's where we fell short, here's where we're working next. I think it's an honest assessment, and I really encourage everybody to read it in earnest. I have a question about the 865 academies. Are you all able to, as we get closer to more and more students going through that program and picking career paths, are you able to track where they go, how they follow those career paths? Do they end up in those career paths? What are they making? And how will that data, if you're able to take it, assess, how will you be able to process it and adapt? Because we're going to, I think, quickly move into a space where we say, okay, we're holding these academies, but they're not the jobs that we need today. So maybe we take some academies back and we push over here. I mean, we have to see the results down the road to back up and adjust. What are you doing to sort of define that space a bit more?
Great question, Commissioner Jane, thanks. I'll say first on your tracking. And tracking is always a little tricky because we have to be able to, keep in touch with them, with students after they go. Some people are 4 years, some people are 6 years, like figuring that out. That's always been, we have some clearinghouse things we can go through, but it rarely captures everybody. But I will say this about the 865 academies. You're 100% right. I want to know if you talk to Mike Odom because he's in my ear all the time from the chamber about our academies, and I love that. But no, we continue to look at that too. To make sure they are the jobs, and we do work with the chamber a lot to see what are those jobs that are coming ahead. We had over 10,000 experiences last year. That means either guest speakers coming from our local CEOs and community to speak, or our students going out their sophomore year. UT Hospital comes to mind. 2,400 sophomores got to go through the sim labs at UT last year at the hospital. Keith Gray's been amazing with that. So, those kinds of experiences are great. But to your question about how do we stay current, how do we stay with what's looking ahead, there's a group of us that actually went up 2 weeks ago to the Niswonger Foundation, and we were looking at 3 unique pathways that they're offering right now. One is a bio-STEM. It makes a whole lot of sense with the lab and the things that we have around, a lot of the companies we have around. Another one's around AI and working for how to do that. And then one they're in development right now that we would be interested in too is a nuclear pathway. So kind of what that would work for us is we look at things that are maybe timing out or sunsetting and maybe teachers retire and those programs move on. Then we'll have this menu for schools to pick from based on high demand, high wage jobs in the area.
I would encourage your team to really lean in on the every school has an alumni program, an alumni association. A lot of our students may stay here or their families may stay here. Figure out a way to incentivize them to keep in touch and tell us, where they are, what they're doing. Those success stories are going to be invaluable to you to inspire future students, but it's also going to be really critical to be able to work with the chamber and others to say, are we providing the right pathways? So if there's a way to engage with the alumni side, I think it would be helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you very much for the excellent presentation tonight. I don't think my district is alone in this, but, I hear a lot of Bearden Elementary and Rocky Hill and especially Bluegrass is the overcrowding. Over the last few years, we've seen a huge uptick in people moving here from elsewhere. How has the population shifted for students throughout Knox County? And as a total, how many more students have we taken on since we've had so many people migrating to Knox County?
That's a great question, Commissioner Jackson. I would say this, although we've seen growth in Knox County, we've actually not seen that that much growth in population. Actually, we've seen a little bit of a declining trend. And to try to figure that out, we were probably roughly 58, 59,000. I think we're going to trend more like 57 next year. So I think what we see a lot of the folks moving here are actually probably 55 and above, again, for all the great benefits and tax structures that are here. But, we're continuing to think about this, and I'll make this plug. Our board is currently considering opening enrollment to outside of county district for people to be able to transfer in as well. So, we think, again, we have an incredible product, an incredible opportunity, kind of what Ellen and STEM has done to bring kids in from out of county too. So we haven't actually seen as much of that growth. It's in pockets as you all understand too, of the district, but not all in one place. So Our board continues to look at that and be good stewards too when we think about, next steps of how we do that. It may in time, we may have to look at some things like rezoning to best utilize our facilities to make that happen. But currently, we don't see a whole lot of growth in that area. It's kind of stable or declining slightly, probably.
How much of that would be attribute to the vouchers, and have you budgeted on how much decrease we would have from the vouchers?
Great question as well. And we don't have that data. I know, we're first year in that. I would tell you just kind of anecdotally, it doesn't seem like a whole lot. It seems like folks who are choosing that path are probably, benefiting from that now. And a lot of our folks are happy in the schools that they're in. I can, like, folks like Chattanooga, I know they've been doing that for multiple years. I talked to the superintendent in Chattanooga. I think they had about 400 kids technically or typically. This past year they had 415. So even in Chattanooga, they hadn't seen huge swings that way. But I will say this, we take it very personally that we have to compete for every one of our students. We don't take it for granted that they live in our zip code. And that's why you continue to see this push for innovation and improvement in Knox County schools. We need to be family's choice. And whether they're required to go or not, it's our job to make sure that we're providing the product they need. So we're up to the task.
Thank you, Commissioner Jackson. Commissioner Hill.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Riswick. This just makes me feel proud like a new mama. I mean, you do educate all of our children, which is required in our Tennessee Constitution, and I'm very grateful that you are open to all of our kids. I also, just for some clarification, would like people that are listening and reading the statistics to realize that sometimes when we hear a jump of a 1% or a 2%, it's easy to get lost when you're thinking of 100% total. But I will tell you that 1% in our schools, an improvement, is a huge, huge gain, given where the child was 1 year ago. The amount of additional teaching and learning that goes into that is not something that just automatically happens. Something else that I'm just asking you to consider, you might take into perspective, is I know with our chamber that we have comparisons that we can draw to other cities and counties our size with similar demographics and that type of thing. And I think it would be very interesting, and I think it would highlight us even a greater amount, perhaps, if you could compare some of this to other cities. And I'm not even suggesting you have to name the cities, but just so that our people here in Knox County can really get a picture of how well a public school system of our size is in fact doing and how much we have improved. I think that would also help bring into light how much improvement and what a wonderful job we are doing. So thank you again.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill.
Commissioner Thompson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We just started a new committee, so we're on audit committee today. And when you're talking about reducing the number of vacancies, and so however you do that, it may be eliminating some positions and hiring more people, but in some of the discussion today in the audit committee was how do you retain and boost morale in the school office? Because so much of the interactions of the kids, and if they don't enjoy going to school, they're not going to learn very well. And so boosting the morale of the staff, certainly if they're happy, they're going to interact with the children very well. And so thank you all for doing that. I know that was a huge hurdle to get through, but if you're able to reduce the number of vacancies and still improve the numbers of graduation rates and competencies and things like that and still move it forward, I think you all really should be applauded greatly for that. The other thing, I just like to say thank you with the 865 Academy and outside of that. You all have taken education, not just, I know when I was in high school and things, it was always debated, we're just teaching for a test. right? You're just teaching to pass the test. You're just teaching to meet the competency structure to achieve the goal of her state standards and whatever. You're just teaching for a test. I think you all have proven through your actions that that's not just what we're teaching. We're trying to expose students to greater opportunities. I know recently through Knox County Farm Bureau and Farm Bureau Women's Group, they had the seed trailer out at Norwood and Copper Ridge and a couple others through the 865 Academy. I've had the opportunity to, it's not easy to bring livestock into a classroom, right? But through the 865 Academy, where you've had days where you've had several different career paths at a high school, and the students get to go around throughout the day through the stages and be exposed to different careers and ask whatever questions they wanted to over the course of an hour with the professionals in that field. I know Ms. Stout and I were at Halls High School I guess it was this spring, and we had a couple hundred students come through, and it was very interesting. It was taxing for me because I didn't understand what we were trying to explain to them. But just some of the questions and the interest, and then when we were on lunch, we got to speak with the other folks who were also presenting to the students and what they were bringing to the table. They really do get a broad, presentation of what's out there post high school, whether they go to a 2-year, 4-year, or they go right out into it and seek a career and a job and a skill. So thank you all very much for that.
Thank you, Commissioner Thompson.
Commissioner Frazier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, congratulations.
Thank
This
you.
really is monumental and foundational for the future of our students. As a parent of 2 Knox County School graduates, our experience was exceptional with our schools. And I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to our teachers. It is a true testament to their dedication. These gains are a true testament to their dedication to our students, to their learning experience, and the overall well-being of our children. So please pass along to them. Thank you.
We'll do that. Thank you, Commissioner Frazier.
Thank you. Now, you do have a question from one of our junior commissioners, so one of your students. Taylor?
As long as it's not about snow day. No, kidding now.
It's not. So I'm in the academies every day, and I really do enjoy them, but I wanted to ask, like, my school only has 3. Is there a plan to expand the available academies to, like, feature more career opportunities?
It's a great question. So I would say this, we're limited in the size of the school because master schedules work that way. You have X number of teachers. So each of those schools has worked to build the academies that they think are, it could be local business partners. It could be the kind of programming they've had before. And so they're all a little bit unique in what they do. But I would say this is the bigger thing for us. We're not going to necessarily be able to, to create medical doctors out of these 865 academies. Our real goal is to get you that exposure to what's out there. We've had lots of stories from students like yourself who, well, I remember one, we were at a school and they were talking about she wanted to be an athletic trainer. She spent the day with one and came back and wanted to be a nurse and went home and told her mom that. It was kind of like, I think I know my pathway now. So I think you're right. I think any of the careers that you were in or that you're getting that exposure to at your high school are going to give you those chance to kind of be hands-on, work with local professionals. And sometimes we say this, it's just as important to find out what you don't want to do, while you're still in. So, continue to ask your counselors and your principals about those opportunities, and they usually try to tailor to that. But even if it's not exactly what it is, you're going to get all that same valuable experience before you graduate. Great question.
Great. Thank you. You're doing a pretty good job. All right. Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you both for the presentation. We appreciate it. Commissioners, we're going to go into public forum now, and we're going to start with, we've got 3 that actually have items on the agenda, so we're going to let those start first, and then we will go into the next one. So the first one is Elizabeth Pop. How many minutes? 3 minutes.
And point of clarification, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Commissioner Fox is deferring his presentation till February.
Yeah, he is. Miss Pop, you want to hit that little people person. There you go. All right, thank you very much. And
Do I
you've
need
got
to
3
state-
minutes.
Do I need to state anything?
If you will state your name and county of residence, please.
My name is Liz Pop, and I am a resident of Knox County.
Thank you.
I signed up to speak in reference to the honorary resolution on human trafficking. I fully support a resolution to officially recognize that there is a problem with human trafficking. I would also like to encourage actual action and policy by our leadership that truly addresses the issue. Human trafficking, you read a definition earlier, I'm going to repeat another one. The use of violence, threats, or coercion to transport, recruit, or harbor people in order to exploit them for purposes such as forced prostitution, labor, criminality, marriage, or organ removal. The United Nations and other international human rights organizations are currently collecting evidence of United States government human rights violations on people within the United States. Due process is being ignored and violated. Conditions and treatment being done to humans in the United States is inhumane and unlawful. Even people who follow the so-called rules, the citizens, asylum seekers, visa and green card holders, along with, quote, undocumented people, are being abused, detained, kidnapped, beaten, transported across state lines, and even out of the country. Some have disappeared, some have been executed. Innocent children are currently being locked up, given dirty water, bad food, and are deathly sick, literally. Kids are being taken out of schools to do this to them. Kidnapped, trafficked. More detention centers, or rather concentration camps, as many in the international community are calling them, are in the works, here in y'all's territory. We in our area have been letting this happen quietly through Knox County Sheriff's Office, Knoxville Police Department, and other federal agencies, including the new ones with almost no training, some with even faulty weapons. All with almost no pushback or even acknowledgement from our legislative leadership at the city, county, and state levels. Our school superintendent we just heard from recently clarified participation from our schools. So how is that for supporting lifelong success and keeping our kids safe? So while you make an honorary resolution to recognize human trafficking for the month of January, while you fund law enforcement organizations with no oversight on their budgets, increasing access to tech and data and weapons with no accountability, and who partner with the agents who are kidnapping and trafficking people, while you fund schools that are saying they will not protect the kids, I ask you, county commissioners, and county mayor, if he's even in the room, what are you actually doing about human trafficking?
Thank you, Ms. Pop. All right. Okay, I want to remind everybody that we're here to do county business and we're going to listen to you, but we're not going to do that. We're going to be respectful of each other. We're going to be respectful of you, and we expect the same thing. So we have other speakers who would like to speak. Ms. Witzel. Thank you. Hi, Ms. Witzel. If you'll give your name and county of residence, please, you have 3 minutes.
Yes, Jacine Witzel, Knox County. I'm here to speak on the road closure for Wyway Lane. I am representing my father, who is 87 years old, and he owns and lives at 4631 Wyway Lane. He's concerned about reducing emergency access to his home. The request before you today is to close approximately 107 feet of county road at the end of Wyway Lane. As a result of that closure, both property owners at 4604 and 4631 would receive additional property. The owner of 4631 opposes the closure because it permanently reduces existing emergency capability. Roads are typically closed for public safety, operational necessity, or a clear public benefit. This request is different. This request benefit is private while the impact is public. At the agenda review meeting, it was discussed that properties were taken as part of the Alcoa Highway project. I want to note for the record, those properties were compensated by the state, and this request represents a separate action by the county that should be evaluated on its own merit. I also want to note that the area where the road would be removed is encumbered by an existing water line and a 15-foot utility easement, which raises a question about how much additional buildable area would actually result from the closure. Wyway Lane currently provides additional emergency access to the rear of the property at 4631. Closing the road removes that access. The Rural Metro Fire Chief has stated that any access is beneficial for emergency response, even though the department will respond regardless of the conditions. Removing access does not improve emergency response capability. I'm asking that the county not remove the existing public roadway, since doing so provides no public safety benefit. For these reasons, I respectfully ask the Commission not to approve the request to close the road and make an already constrained situation less safe than it is today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Witzel. Ms. Emily Gray? A little person button there.
My name is Larry Gray. I lived on Wyway Line off and on, but most of my 77 years. My dad built that place right after he came back from World War II, about 1946. We've lived there. I've lived there most of my life. He was called back up for the Korean conflict, and we just about lost the house because when he came back from the Korean conflict, he didn't have a job, and we're in a recession. He told me when I was 20 years old that I needed to join the service. Vietnam was going on. I don't know how many of you would tell your son to join the service and go fight in the war, but that's what he told me. And I was in the regular army, went to Vietnam, spent my year there. Never had lost several buddies over there. People get killed. Came back. I've worked all my life. I never have taken any handouts. I paid my taxes. And this property that we're looking at, the road only goes to my property. Both the houses that were on that property were destroyed by TDOT. The one I grew up in and the one I lived in, which was my great aunt's house, which was not next door. They're both gone. I lived there most of my life. I loved it. My wife cried a lot when they tore the dang thing down, okay? But now I've got one small house that I built for my mother when she wanted to move back on the hill about 20 years ago or so. And I built it for her, and she lived her last 7 or 8 years on top of that hill with us. But what I'd like to do is build if I had a little more property, which is that road that nobody else uses, doesn't go anywhere except to my house. If I could have that road, I'd have enough room to build another house and put one of my kids there. Hopefully, at 77, you don't know how much longer you have, but I know that I'm not as sharp as I used to be. And I know that I'd like to have one of my kids move in next to me and kind of hopefully not send me to the old farts home, and live out my life there. I've lived in Knoxville all my life. My dad went to Carnes. My mother went to Old Knox High. My family's been here. I know we're having another 100,000 people supposed to be moving in this coming year, and it's getting crowded. I never asked for anything. I paid my debts to society, and closing this road has no effect on the Whistles.
Thank you, Mr. Gray.
Has no effect on them at all. They're down the hill. I know the time's up. They're down the hill, and they can't even see me up there.
Thank you.
I actually own 30 feet all the way down one side of their house. I'm thinking about putting a dog kennel there if I can't build a house.
Is Ms. Gray, Ms. Gray, are you wanting to speak?
We were both supposed to be on the list, if I can take.
You were. I just called you first and he came up, but that's fine. So we've got you set for 3 minutes, so
Okay.
go ahead. Just
Okay.
name and,
Emily Gray, our address is 4604 Whiteway Lane now, the house that he mentioned he built for his mom. Just to back up what Larry has said, the dead end of Y-Way has always serviced only our 3 driveways. That's all that's there. There's really no reason for anybody else to be on the end of that road because we have the only house left now. And we, like you said, we're lifelong citizens here. We're tax-paying, law-abiding citizens, and we truly do not believe that what we're asking for has any negative impact on the Whistles. We don't have any access from the back of our property for emergency vehicles. And they actually still have, 30 feet?
They have 40 feet.
40 feet.
Of access from the other side, and
From Y-Way, from part of Y-Way.
and they're not going to use that anyway. They come up from the other way. It's a quarter of a mile around to get to the back of the house. And it just, it's just heartbreaking to lose your house like we have. And TDOT hadn't been very nice to us either, by the way. They've done things for everybody else, building big walls where they wouldn't have to listen to the highway and doing this, that, and the other. And for us, they hadn't done anything. And I think we deserve, being good citizens, we deserve a little something. And it ain't gonna hurt the Whistles a dime, nothing. I know they got a little mad at me a few years back, and then I'm paying for it now, but there's just no reason for it.
Thank you.
Just no reason at all. Do y'all need, I'm sure y'all had these handouts and stuff.
Yeah, we can see it.
And it shows, nobody there but us. And we'll be, if I build a house there, you get to charge me taxes. It works for everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Please
much.
help us on this.
Thank you.
We're not bad people. And I served our country well. And I'm a totally and permanent disabled veteran, by the way, if that makes any difference. I got injured in Vietnam, and I'm paying for it the rest of my life.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
and Mrs. Gray. We appreciate it, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Commissioners, I'd like to now state we're moving into the open forum, public forum part of the public forum, and the first is Paul DeLeon, and I don't know if I'm saying that right. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh, he's, okay, perfect. Hello, if you'll give your name and county of residence, please, you've got 3 minutes.
Yes, I'm Paul DeLeon. I live in Knox. And I see that the resolution responding to the Board of Education's legislative priorities has been postponed till another meeting, but I'm going to address that tonight. Tennessee has a long tradition of the KKK, segregation, Jim Crow, and mass deportations of Native people. Policies to punish our immigrant neighbors fall squarely in that tradition. Tennessee also has a history of freedom fighters, such as the children who kept going to Clinton High School despite beatings and bombings. Our school board's decision to defend our immigrant students belong to that history. So please lay off the Board of Education. They're doing their jobs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeLeon. Next is Betsy Hopkirk. What?
Removed.
Okay, perfect.
Michael.
Michael O'Malley. Hello, just
Hi.
state your name and county residence, please.
Sure. Michael O'Malley, Knox County. I'm also speaking on the resolution that was deferred to April, but I spent some time typing this up, so I'm just going to read it. I hope in April, when you guys have a chance to look at this again, that you'll not support this resolution. There's a lot of language in here that's trying to make it sound neutral, but I think that it is ultimately harmful. There's no reason to monitor the immigration status of students unless you're just going to target them in some way or remove them. In fact, I do have to thank Commissioner Lee for including Section 4 on that resolution, because I think it's a little bit more open about what the intentions are here. They say that the authorization to track student immigration status may, quote, reduce financial liabilities and risks borne by local governments, lower long-term administrative costs, and minimize operational distractions from teaching and learning. And what that's basically saying is that these students who don't have legal immigration status are financial burdens on the district, and the way to reduce those financial burdens obviously would be to remove those students. I think that we should be clear as a commission which funds a school board that students should not be viewed as a burden. All students deserve an education. The logic of the resolution is that we should only educate students who don't cost too much to educate. And this may be targeting immigrants, but I think we should think about how that logic might extend to students with disabilities, or students who need RTI, or students who experience poverty or trauma, all of whom need special services that cost money. What's the price tag that we would have, that we would look into a student's eye and say, you cost too much to educate? And I hope that there is not such a price tag, because all students deserve a public education that is available to them. Moreover, I do want to call attention to the final part of Section 4, which specifically says that Tennessee should protect public education for the children of citizens of Tennessee. And there, it's not just talking about the immigration status of the children, but requiring the parents to also be citizens. And I think that that's the real agenda. It's less about money and more about making public education a lineage rather than a right. And segregationists called that a grandfather clause, and I think we rightly got rid of that, quite a bit ago. And so I would say that this resolution is as much about money or local discretion, quote unquote, to quote the resolution. It's about that as much as Jim Crow was about states' rights, or the Nuremberg laws were about census data. And I do have a kind of as an English teacher, a editorial critique of some of the language here. I teach students about being concise, and I think that's really important. Protecting public education for the children of citizens of Tennessee, that's pretty wordy. You might have just reduced that to blood and soil. That's pretty precise. See Kyle is a lot shorter as well. So I hope that we can avoid the implications of what this resolution brings. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Malley. Next speaker is Isaac Goodson, I'm sorry.
Next is Lindsay Barrows.
Isaac Goodson, Knox County, District 7. I would like to address the same resolution concerning the relevant legislation. I hope to frame this in context for our shared responsibilities to each other as a community quantitatively, with a mind for the biblical principles which I know many of us value. I hope this framework will enlighten the moral and fiscal question of the legislation and why there are objections in our community. The freedoms that we have a cost and a price. While we agree on the need to follow the laws of the land, the biblical priorities which ought to guide our legislation have a moral order of operations. First is love God with everything, and second is love your neighbor. So love ought to guide the principles and laws of this country. As for Section 3, I will agree that the legislation says what it says. Local control is local control. That is understood. I, however, disagree with the language as it misrepresents what happened and the objections that were brought up at the meeting. For sections 4 and 5, I must disagree on the premise that the bill will yield the net benefits for the community and that the public welfare requires it. That we ought to contemplate what brings benefit and cost to our communities. There are multiple ways to engineer solutions so that the current prescription is not a requirement. So the cost breakdown, we have about 500,000 people in Knoxville with about a 60,000 student body population. The budget that we have now is about $11,300 per student. If we are to assume that the immigrant population, which is about 4 to 5%, is representative of what is in the student body population, and a fraction of that is here illegally, then the benefits are $50 to $400 per student. However, an equivalent benefit, an equivalent budget burden for the taxpayer would be between $7 and $56 per year, or 60 cents, or about $5 per month. This is what we're fighting over. And as other people will talk about the qualitative costs to the community, I want to ask, is it really worth it? There was someone who said that if we wanted to pay for this type of system, that we should get our wallets out. So for $56 for the year, consider this my down payment.
The next speaker is Lindsay Barrows. Hello, Ms. Barrows.
Hello, I'm Lindsay Barrows. I reside in Knoxville, Tennessee, in Knox County. I'm also commenting on your policy of the reporting immigration status of students. I think that this decision oversteps the decision the school board has already made, not only disrespecting the school board, but also the constituents that voted them into office for the purpose solely for making policy for Knox County schools. This also disrespects students' Fourth Amendment rights, unreasonable search when requesting information under the guise of school policy when it's really seizing data in support of immigration policy. This would disrespect students by forcing them to be used as pawns in a scheme that benefits immigration agencies and will limit some children from attending school at all, resulting in an uneducated future adult, more likely to end up in poverty, more likely to commit crime, and more likely to be reliant on a government system to survive. This also disrespects the schools themselves, who've already shown how hard they're working at this meeting. Yet they're already underfunded and staff underpaid, and you have now added another burden, another task, and another report to an already overburdened system. And the worst part is they will be doing that unpaid work for the agency that is now the highest funded agency in our government. The bill lists that it minimizes operational distractions from teaching and learning. There are less undocumented immigrants enrolled in schools in the entire state than there are hungry children in Knox County. 1 in 4, 34,000 hungry children, if you want to consider a distraction. My mother worked for 30 years fighting child sexual abuse as a counselor and with the Children's Justice Task Force in West Virginia. And she always let me know that a teacher is one of the top people to report signs of physical and sexual abuse. And while you stood here today and took a picture to support your bill against human trafficking, you would also deny a compassionate teacher to a child who is currently being abused. Why would you choose to undermine your constituents, your fellow elected officials, the Constitution, the students, and the schools themselves? This immigration policy does not make students better. It does not make schools better. It does not make Knox County better. And it does not make America better. Thank you.
Next speaker is Louise Fry. Macy Babb. Okay, we're gonna butcher this name. Joe Finucane. I hope.
Yes, I thought that I was going to address Christian's biblical view on illegal immigration.
It's open for the public forum right now. That's what I was calling you up for. Yes, sir. Yep. I hope I said your name right. If you'll give your name and county of residence, please.
Mr. Mayor, wherever you are, and commissioners, thank you for your patience. I'm Joe Finucane, a citizen of Knox County for 55 years. I rise to correct a Christian's biblical view on illegal immigration. I hesitate, first because it is contrary to the Constitution for any government body to debate matters of religion. Second, because I do not confess to Christian religion. I only explain Christian ethics to those who do confess it. This is what happens when the state meddles in religion. It becomes a public matter, and anyone can say what he thinks. But this was all settled 800 years ago by Thomas Aquinas, a saint and a doctor of the Roman Catholic Church, who followed the same Bible and the same Apostles' Creed as any Christian. In his homily for the second Sunday after Epiphany, he makes it plain that every Christian must welcome the stranger. He quotes Scripture 14 times from Genesis chapter 18, Abraham hastens forth to beg the stranger to rest and take refreshment, to Matthew chapter 25. Depart from me, ye accursed, into everlasting fire, for I was a stranger, and you took me not in. But this is only the individual's duty of hospitality. What about a nation's duty? Thomas's summary of theology on the question regarding foreigners points out Exodus chapter 2. Thou shalt not molest a stranger, for you know the hearts of strangers, for you also were strangers in Egypt. This applies to us here in this room. We are all immigrants. Here, Thomas tells us with a number of Old Testament citations that peaceful strangers were welcome to dwell in the land of Israel and after a time of probation to become citizens. So this doctor of the church affirms it is prudent and just for a nation to welcome the immigrant. But what if the rulers of the land persecute the stranger who comes in peace? Clearly, any such law is unjust and unacceptable to the Christian. What must the Christian do? Under the summary on the question, does human law bind a man in conscience? Thomas cites St. Augustine, another doctor of the church. Any law contrary to the common good or that imposes unequal burdens is no law at all. But it is for the common good that strangers come here to build our country. And it does impose an unequal burden to discriminate against anyone who crosses some arbitrary line like a border or who lacks some trifling piece of paper like a passport. Since there are no laws at all, the Christian must obey not the human law, but the law of his God in respect to our unjust immigration laws and their unjust enforcement. Though Thomas does warn the Christian to avoid scandal or disturbance. Remember, I do not propose to resist any human law because I do not follow Christ. I only point out what anyone must do who does claim to follow Christ. Thank you.
Next speaker is Ryan Neufeld. I'll say it one more time. Next speaker is Ryan Neufeld.
Oh, it was already on. Okay.
Hi, my name is Ryan Neufeld. I am a citizen of Knox County. Hello, Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. I'm not a politician. I'm not an activist. I'm a Knoxvillian. I am a father of 2 boys. I don't commit crime. I pay my property taxes, both county and city. I'm here tonight. I needed to be here tonight because none of this feels right. And when you feel that, you need to say something. Since we are quoting scripture, I'd like to quote a commandment. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. It means you don't lie about people. You don't twist the truth. You don't pretend that something happened when we can all see clearly it did not. If the government must lie to justify what it is doing, then what it's doing is not right. What Americans are seeing right now on video from multiple angles is federal agents misrepresenting events, miscategorizing citizens, and avoiding all accountability. This is eroding our trust in the government. If they can make other people into terrorists, they can make us into terrorists. Knoxville is not Minneapolis. We are not a federal proving ground. We are a community of families, schools, neighborhoods, and churches. I don't know anyone locally that thinks Knoxville has an immigration problem, so I propose instead of passing laws that bring the federal government in and let them run our beautiful little scruffy city, why don't we do it ourselves? Give us a list. We will turn these people over. I am also deeply concerned with Knox County schools saying that they will simply follow the law without acknowledging that these laws are not being enforced right now. And following the law does not protect my children, your children, our children. So I'll ask this plainly, how many more American citizens have to be harmed before we admit something is wrong? How close to home does this have to come before we call a spade a spade? The time for us to do something locally is now. Now. Don't wait. If people in Minneapolis, they probably wish that they would have done something 2 months ago, 3 months ago. But instead, they have to now take to the streets and try to get these people that are terrorizing their community out. Time for us to do something is now, before the trust is gone, before the damage is done, and before lies become ordinary policy.
Next speaker is Jax Fox. Jax Fox.
Okay, Edward Sullivan.
Edward Sullivan.
Oh, you're supposed to take me off.
Oh, take you off? Okay.
All right, then we're back up to Louise Fry.
Is Louise Fry in? I wanted to give her another chance if she was, okay.
Macy Babb.
Macy Babb.
And last call for the Jax Fox.
And last call for Jax Fox. Okay, perfect. And that concludes public forum. Commissioner Durrett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Although we know the resolution addressing the school board's legislative policy number 6 has been postponed, I do want to briefly address it out of respect for the audience members who took the time to come out here today to address it, because I believe they deserve to know where they stand, their elected officials stand on this, and not have to wait until April. I too came prepared to address it this evening. This resolution claims to defend local control, but it does the opposite. Sections 1 and 2 say.
I object, Madam Chair. It's not on the agenda. There's no reason to tie up our time. It'll be on the agenda at some point in the future. I objected proceeding.
You can, I mean, Commissioner Fox, you can speak as well as Commissioner Durrett can to public forum if you'd like to. But she's a commissioner. She has a right to speak.
Yeah, well, okay. But on October 27th, when I attempted to respond to public forum on a particular, on the...
She's not addressing public forum, though. She's not addressing the public. She's addressing Commissioner Lee and commission.
Oh, you mean she's speaking as part of public forum?
She can, yes.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
Yes.
I understand. All right.
Commissioner Durrett?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sections 1 and 2 say decisions remain with local discretion, yet sections 3 and 4 exist for one reason only, to criticize and override how the Knox County School Board of Education exercise that discretion. This is not local control, it's political pressure, and it's outside the proper role of this body. The County Commission has no oversight authority over the Board of Education. Passing a resolution that second guesses the board's judgment does not strengthen local governance, it undermines it. If local control only matters when we agree with the outcome, then it is not local control at all. As a former Knox County high school teacher, I can say plainly that encouraging schools to collect or monitor immigration status pulls them away from teaching and learning and into an enforcement adjacent role that harms students and burdens educators, especially in a district of this size, which we just learned we are 68th in the country. I also want to call out a glaring hypocrisy. In November of 2024, this body was asked to support a resolution asserting a commitment to protecting the innocence of children. That resolution spoke broadly about the duty of government to safeguard children's well-being and ensure public actions do no harm to them. Yet today, we are considering a resolution by the same sponsor who would encourage policies placing certain children under suspicion, creating fear and instability in schools, and diverting educators from their core mission of teaching and caring for students. The innocence of children does not depend on citizenship or immigration status. Children are children, full stop. This resolution does not improve education. This resolution does not respect the authority of our elected school board. And most importantly, this resolution does not protect children. It's performative at best and seems to test the partisan loyalties of my Republican colleagues. So when it is up for vote, I will be voting no. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Fox?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just for clarification, so can I speak right now in response to the public forum as well?
I mean, it's open forum.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Well, I was going to put on a presentation, and I still intend on doing that. Part of the reason that I didn't put the presentation on is because the Young Republicans have an event tonight. They wanted to attend and support that presentation, and so that's one of the reasons that I wanted to put it off. But just to mention a few things, again, what has happened is people are bringing Christian principles into the public square and stating you should follow these principles. And because if you don't bring Christian principles into the public square on this issue, then it's just the federal law exists. It says this is who can legally reside here and this is who can't. This is how you can legally come into the country, and this is how, if you don't do that, then you're coming to the country illegally, and that's a crime under 8 U.S.C. 1325. So that's just the law, and Knox County is required to comport with that law. And in fact, if you use anyone who gives money or assists or harbors or someone who's here in violation of immigration laws or prevents the federal authorities from getting them, from recovering them and deporting them, that is a crime. It's 8 U.S.C. 1324. And so this county should not be funding nonprofits who are engaging in a crime that under federal law, USC 1324. And that's one of the reasons why I added that provision to the initiative that Commissioner Russell and I proposed back in October, and we had a workshop on today. So, but people are bringing Christian principles into this argument. I'm fine with that because I have a few questions. For instance, when God said, be kind to the stranger, did God himself create restrictions on who could be within the nation of ancient Israel? Did he create restrictions on who could be part of the assembly of the Lord in ancient Israel? Did God create boundaries for the nation of ancient Israel? And the answer to that is yes, God himself created boundaries. God himself put restrictions on who could be part of ancient
No,
Israel.
we're going to listen. We're
God
gonna listen.
himself provided that some foreigners actually could never be a part of the assembly of the Lord. And that was a phrase in ancient Israel, according to a Torah expert that I looked at, who said that meant they could
Commissioner
not be a
Fox,
part.
can you stop for a second?
Yeah.
Can you please stop? You don't have to agree with Commissioner Fox. You don't have to agree with anybody, but you need to let him speak because he spoke. If not, you can leave. That's your option.
We're entitled to the truth, not some fake story.
Okay. Commissioner Fox, you can finish. You've got about 2 minutes.
Yeah,
We need
thank
to
you.
wrap up.
Yeah, well, I am speaking the truth, and at my workshop that I'm going to give a presentation that's going to be a mini workshop, because I don't want to spend 40 minutes or an hour or something like that in front of the commission. I'm going to have a separate workshop where I'm going to discuss all the verses. I'm just going to present verses in the Bible that talks about certain foreigners who could not participate in public life. They could come reside in the nation of Israel out of fear for their life if they were from another country or something, but they could never be a full citizen. Foreigners were charged interest, whereas citizens of ancient Israel were not charged interest. In many respects, under Old Testament law, foreigners were second-class citizens. But you know what? I do want to say this too. This is interesting. When people try to bring Christian principles into this dialogue, that is essentially an implicit admission that America is a Christian country. And you know what? I believe that. America was always intended to be a Christian country. The Declaration of Independence is very clear about that. You know, as far as like people say, well, nothing mentions God. Yeah. Yep.
Commissioner Fox, you've got 30 seconds.
Thank you. I'm so pleased to see the response to me trying to engage in the public square, because the truth is that people who oppose my viewpoint aren't interested in actual discussion and actual dialogue. They want to censor what I say because they can't handle another opinion that is based in what the Bible says and just based on logic. So I look forward to presenting what I have to say about the Bible and Christian principles for illegal immigration.
Thank you. Commissioner Lee?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to address Commissioner Durrett. You're entitled to your political rhetoric, but everybody here took an oath to obey the Constitution of the United States, and this resolution is about accountability and transparency. And this commission is over the taxpayer dollars of this county. And so being accountable to how many students are in our schools, how many students are using the resources of the schools, how many students need teachers, how many buses carry students is our business. And so is being transparent. So to oppose this means that you do not support accountability and transparency.
Commissioner, no. Commissioner Jackson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to address Commissioner Fox. And, you know, I have never convinced anybody to change their mind over, you know, interrupting or yelling at them. Commissioner Fox and I do not agree on this, although I do look forward to having a good discussion next month on this. You know, one thing that I'd like to impress on everybody is the first thing that my religion professor told me in college, because I thought I was going to go into the ministry, was that everything you read in the Bible is a translation of something. So, for example, there's over 5 or 6 words in the Old Testament that, in the Hebrew, that have been translated to either foreigner, stranger, or alien. And they all have different meanings. But the NIV interprets every single one of these as foreigner. So we will get into a lot of these discussions, and there's an and then in the New Testament, it's a translation of a translation because the New Testament is written in Greek, but Jesus spoke in what is called Galilean Aramaic, which uses a lot of the words from ancient Hebrew. For example, the word ger, G-E-R, in Hebrew, that means foreigner, or it means somebody who is from another area. And it is talked about over and over and over in the Old Testament, in Exodus, in Leviticus, in Deuteronomy, in Isaiah, in the Psalms, that we are to protect the ger, the G-E-R. We are to protect the foreigner. We are to protect the innocent. So we're going to have a great discussion on this. I look forward to it, and I welcome everybody back. But I will be respectful of Commissioner Fox, and hopefully it will be respect towards me, and I look forward to that discussion.
Thank you, Commissioner Jackson. Commissioner Rawls? Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I kind of want to echo Commissioner Jackson for a moment. In the beginning of the Bible, the third page, fourth page, it says, "This book has been diligently written and revised from the original text." So we are, in fact, reading an interpretation. There are 11 of us here. There are probably 70 people here. Every one of us has a different opinion about every line of the Bible. And for you to say that they are wrong in their interpretation is the exact same thing that you are doing. You're telling them they're wrong, and they're just bringing up a point of view. I don't have a problem if we have this conversation. I really don't. But what we are experiencing is when we move away from governing and we get into opinion play and we get into politic flag waving because you're the biggest Republican in the room or you're the biggest Democrat in the room. We gotta stop this and get to a level of governing. This political game that people are playing is not harming just the people here. It's causing damage. You can throw a rock at most commission meetings and not hit people. But look around. Look at the signs. Why are they here? Because you've put this on the agenda as a game to showboat. And you can disagree with me, which you probably will. I don't care. The fruit is the fruit. This is the fruit of what you are doing. So think about that as we move forward in the next 3 years.
Thank you, Commissioner Rawls. We will now move to the next item.
The next item is approval of minutes of the previous meeting, and we have 3 sets: December 8th, public hearing, December 8th, special session, and December 15th, regular session.
Do I have a motion to approve? Durrett and Thompson. Any discussion? Seeing none, vote is open. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, you can change your vote. Sorry, I'm having a little technical problem. All right, and voting is closed. Madam Clerk, that passed 11-0. Next item, please.
Next item is number 27, drives and roads. Consideration of the acceptance of new county roads. A, and B are in Spring Lake Farm Subdivision Unit 2. A is Bogart Lane, B is Trap Hill Lane. C, Poplar Grove Lane, located in Boulder Point, Phase 5, District 6. D is Hunter's Knoll Lane, E, Smoky Hill Lane, F, Tallgrass Lane, all located in Hayden Hill, 1C, District 6. G, Denali Path Lane, located in Denali, District 6. H is Bishop Wood Lane, located in St. Mars, District 7. I is Stargate Drive. J, Stonyhurst Lane. K, 7th Lane. L, Fox Point Lane. They're all located in the Meadows at Shannon Valley, District 8.
Than it is here. Thank you. I've got a motion to approve by Commissioner Thompson, second by Commissioner Rawls. Any discussion? Seeing none, open the vote, please. You may change your vote. The votes are closed. That passed 11-0. Next item, please.
Item number 28, consideration of the closure of unbuilt right-of-way off McMont Circle between Lot 1, Block F, and Lot 12, Block A, in Washington Heights Subdivision, 6th Commission District.
Thank you. Got a motion to approve by Commissioner Jay, second by Commissioner Durrett. Any discussion? Seeing none, open votes, please. Commissioner Lee, there we go. You can change your votes, and voting is closed. That passed 11-0. Next item, please.
Item number 21, consideration of the closure of the remaining excess right-of-way located west of Bailey Farm Drive, north of Shad Road, and east of parcel 104-05201, which is an outcome of the Ball Count Pike Shad Road relocation project, District 6.
Thank you. Got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Jay, second by Commissioner Hill. Any discussion? Seeing none, open vote, please. You may change your vote. And voting is closed. That passed 10 and 1 no. Next item, please.
Item number 30 is consideration of the closure of a portion of the Y-Way Lane terminus located north of River Oak Drive, Commission District 9.
Thank you. I've got a motion to approve by Commissioner Jackson, a second by Commissioner Fox. Any discussion? Commissioner Jay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Gray, are you still with us?
No, he's here. He's right there.
Mr. and Mrs. Gray, I have a question if you could. You might want to give that gentleman his $57 back, or maybe he's going to treat you to dinner tonight.
This isn't mine, all right.
Funny things happen in commission.
Okay.
Question for you. I'm right here, sir.
I can't hear very well.
I'll do my best to speak up. Do you all have any pending litigation between you all and TDOT? Pending litigation. Are you in a lawsuit with TDOT, your family? Can you come up to the mic, ma'am?
He wants to know if we're still pending litigation with TDOT.
Yes, we are on the other side. You know, where they drew the line, the part that they took, which doesn't have anything to do with this.
Okay.
Yeah, we still.
But you're in a lawsuit with TDOT right now.
I didn't do a lawsuit.
We did not settle.
Okay,
for what
you got to come up to the mic. I can't hear you.
We did not settle for what they offered us on the old house that Larry grew up in, the one that was torn down at 4602. So we have never settled with them. And what we wanted to do was to get some property back as a settlement. And but as soon as we didn't take the first amount they offered, they condemned the house and tore it down.
And so you are in a lawsuit against TDOT about that action.
At that point, they told us that we could no longer communicate with TDOT. We communicate through the Attorney General's office.
Okay.
So, yes, I guess the answer is
And
yes.
all we asked to do was to negotiate with it, and the first thing I asked, you know, they said, you know, cut it off, and walked out, and that's been like, we've been messing with this for 10 years. Since they've been down there, it's been 10 years going on, and out there hammering around and whatnot. And it's, it's like I'm 77 and all this nerves and everything, it's killing me, I'll tell you.
I understand, and I know it's incredibly difficult when, big projects come through and big public road projects. I understand your position. I understand Ms. Witzel's position. This is one I'm struggling with. I understand her position, but I could say, well, there is plenty of access. I understand your position, but I don't know if you're going to be able to have room to put another house, and I understand the land. I guess my only heartburn about approving this right now is that there's pending litigation between you all and TDOT, and if that changes, I mean, that could change where they put boundary lines. That could change how they condemn more property. That could change how the road is accessed or determined by TDOT. And so I'm struggling to either approve or deny, because it's like deciding something. What happens if TDOT comes and says we're taking more and of the land, and it includes the road?
It's been going on for 10 years. They're way down the hill now. They're out there.
I understand, but you have a pending legal battle with TDOT over compensation and land. It's difficult for me to approve this when you're in the middle of a legal fight with TDOT, because if they change the parameters, then we've already made a decision, and that's difficult for me.
It's a totally separate track, they call it. It was 4602 was the address, Y-Way. But we had 3 different tracks that TDOT impacted, 3 houses. And I don't see why that's connected to this.
I cannot see why TDOT would ever want to come back. They could have taken 100 feet or so and not bothered any of the houses, either one of my houses, and they already got that 45 going up there, and they're way down the hill. They're not going to mess with it.
Okay, just real quick, is Mr. Snowden here? Mr. Snowden.
Yeah, that's the guy.
I'm going to ask our head of engineering.
Nice to see you again.
Sorry about that, Commissioner.
I'm not sure if you heard me. I understand both sides of the position. I could honestly flip a coin on any of this, and argue both sides one way or the other. But I'm concerned about TDOT and litigation and how this might affect the road if that change. Do you have any idea of where they are? Is litigation pending? Is that going to affect the road? Help us understand that. I think you probably need to identify yourself.
Yeah, Jim Snowden, Knox County Engineering, 205 West Baxter Avenue. Yeah, I'm generally aware that there is some active litigation. Unfortunately, as Mr. Gray says, condemnations of this matter may drag on for a long, long time. So I'm not, and more than that, I don't have any direct information about the acquisition per se, unfortunately. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Rawls.
I believe they're going to work on it another 2 or 3 years, by the way, so I may be dead by the time they finish that highway project. It's been going on for 10 years.
Thank you,
We may
Mr.
all be dead, I don't know.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. We've got other commissioners that have questions, Mr. Gray.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Gray, left side. Okay. Okay, anyone can speak to this, either one of you. And this is a question, could you build another home if you didn't close the road?
If we did or didn't?
Did not, if you did not close the road.
Could we build another home if we did not?
There's not enough room. Time you have the setbacks and everything, there's just not enough room for that, I'm especially needing that 30 feet in between my 2 properties.
Mm-hmm.
If I had that, then I'd have a place to put a septic tank line, down through there. But without that 30 feet, I can't do anything. If I had that 30 feet plus a few more feet, I don't have to have it all, is what I'm getting at, to
Okay,
put a
but
house
that, so
in.
you'll get the feet when they close the road?
You know, if I had 50 or 60 feet of it, 30 that's in between the two lots, and another few feet, I could build a house pretty easy. And I'd love to build another house up there. We had the best view. My great aunt built one that was facing due west, and you're talking about a pretty sunset in Knoxville. You watch that sun come down on the lake every day. It's been a great deal for
All
us.
right, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Hill?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is really a difficult situation. I believe that we received I think all commissioners received a letter from Rural Metro stating that they were not in support of this road closure. That's our fire folks. It is extremely rare to have a road closure come before us that does not have the support of our own roads and engineering, who are our people that we go to and trust for this very type of thing. I wasn't aware of any pending litigation. I am assuming that you were compensated for property you did lose?
Yes, somewhat, yeah.
And
It wasn't present, it wasn't, what do you call the present value of the
current
house, whatever
market
you call it.
value,
if you
but it was fair market value when
No, no way. Wasn't even close.
all right.
But about the fire, we received an email after the letter from the fire chief, Rural Metro. Some of us received an email that said they had a small voice in this maybe, but that a lot of the access that the Whitsels still have has been cleared because it's power lines. And he said it's been cleared out, so the worry about forest fires was not applicable. And I can't remember the last part of his email. The full commission didn't get it. That was yesterday or day before. Did you get that? The letter, and then there was an email. Yes, you did. Yes, ma'am. Do you remember that last sentence about what he said? I can't remember
Well,
his wording.
honestly, I'm just stating some points, and I appreciate that.
No,
I did not receive that, but
Right,
it's
but-
good to know that maybe they
But
have.
he's sort of, I read it as he backed off somewhat on what the letter had earlier said.
All right.
That it was not, oh, yeah, I printed that out today, didn't I? I forgot.
All right.
I forgot. to print it.
How long has that road been open?
Oh,
What now?
how long has that road been opened? Your house was built in 48?
I was born in 1948. I moved into that house the same day, so it was built 47, 48, right after World War II. And
And it's not been a problem up until this point
We have never had a problem. And
with the open road?
I don't, what kind of problem are you referring to?
Well, I mean, it's not troubled you, or, I mean, you've been fine that it's been an open road for what, 70 years?
We never knew we had a choice, but, at this point, that road for years has only serviced the 3 driveways to our house. There's nothing else up there.
Yeah,
And
thank you. This is just very difficult.
Thank you. Commissioner Fox?
I know.
You want
I'm trying
Commissioner
to-
Thompson to go first?
They're calling on him.
Commissioner Thompson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had a question for, I guess, Director Snowden, if you could, I guess, shed some light on this. it looks like there is a water service utility line that runs along the road or underneath the road.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear that, Commissioner. I'm sorry. Can you repeat,
It
please?
looks as if there is a water utility line.
Yes, sir.
That runs on the Gray's side of the road.
Yes, sir, in the right of way, yes, sir.
Okay, is that something that would be, if the road is closed, would also be shortened or cut off, or could be built on top of?
We've contacted all the utilities, and they would retain an easement. So if we were to close the road, or if you guys were to close the road, if the Grays wanted to impact that, they would have to work with KUB or that particular utility provider to relocate that. They couldn't build anything on it because as part of this closure process, we would retain or require the retention of an easement by all existing utilities.
So if they were to build on top of it, then they would have to work with KUB to reconfigure that or reduce the length of the line.
Correct, yes, and Mr. and Ms. Gray would be responsible financially for all that at that point in time.
Okay, and then topographically speaking, if we did that, the easements would go back to, would essentially be split between both property owners, correct?
That's correct. It'd be essentially down the middle, bisected equally, and give to both owners.
Okay, but the road is fully within the easement of the Grays, correct?
We talked about that last week. It appears that it is, but I don't know if Mr. Gray, he's lived there a long time, he may have more information. We don't have a survey to reflect that, but it does look like that. And I think Mr. Gray even said last week that it looks like the road may be, the actual asphalt portion may be shifted more towards his side than the other side.
There's 40-foot right-of-way, and it's on the first 15 feet on our side of the road.
Okay.
And then all that down the hill, then there's another 25 feet or so down the hill, and it's toward the Witzel's place. And all that, we're just asking for the road. The Witzels would get another 20 feet down that way. I mean, if we close the 40-foot thing, we'd get the road, and they get an extra 20 feet of property. So, and like I say, we don't have any, there's no noise coming from the Witzels, and there's no noise coming from us. It's a pretty quiet community, and there's not much going on. And that road has always been a dead end. And like I say, the only thing on it was our two houses, and they're gone. So if I could close the road, then I could build another house, and I would just love to be able to do that with, if I could. I definitely love living up there. I've lived up there all my life, and this has been going on for 10 years. I felt like I deserve a little help on this,
All right.
and I don't know how many, and like I said, my old man told me to go into service when I was 20 years old. I went and spent a year in Vietnam, watched a lot of my friends get killed, and and I've always paid my taxes and done everything I'm supposed to do. I just can't understand. I don't know why the Witzels want to jump on this. I have no idea.
Okay. I have an additional question for Director Snowden. Because looking at the map, would the road closure, the road closure would not affect 4608, correct? Would it stop at the?
4608, you know.
That's our neighbor. That's the. it would
Right,
not-
so the road
The one
closure.
south of you.
To the left of us.
No, Commissioner, it would
Okay,
not.
so-
We would start it at their property line, so they would have full access and utility to that right of way.
Okay, so the road closure would go from the property line of their neighbor, from 4608, directly across the street to 4631, which is Mr. Witzel?
That is correct,
So it
sir.
would go directly across.
Yes, sir.
I was just looking at the road access and how far it comes up, because their property line edges are not directly across from each other. I was just trying to consider, because as Ms. Witzel had spoken before, there wouldn't be vehicular access from the road because or they couldn't put in an additional road access because of the steep slope and it's wooded. But they were concerned about emergency services, particularly fire, getting to that edge of the property. But if the road were to come up to the neighbor's property line, would that give enough road access? It would give them, emergency personnel, some access to their property. I'm asking.
Did you not say Witzel's would still have 40 feet?
Yep.
I think it's 40 feet.
The Witzels have at least 40 feet. After, where our property quits, and you go on, they own another 40 feet of Y-way on that side of the road.
That would be directly across from
That they'll still have,
4608.
it'll have no, so they have 40, and it's the best as far as the landscape goes to get down the hill. The other part's really a lot steeper and whatnot, and it's cleared off and everything. So they've got at least 40 feet that they can have access to their, to the backside.
Okay, but the road closure would not extend beyond the Gray's property line?
No.
Correct? Okay.
No.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Fox?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to respond to a couple statements by the commissioners. I have a few questions as well. I think right now, Ms. Stills and the IT staff are working to bring up a map, because it is a little bit hard to discuss this in the abstract without a map to look at. But the litigation that you're talking about wasn't that just over the value that was awarded to you by TDOT? It's not that they could recover, or that you could recover that property. They've condemned it.
No.
It's just how much money should you get for it? Is that correct?
Yes, that's the way I understand
Yeah,
it.
so that's
Yes.
not going to change
It's not gonna
anything
change.
about the layout of all these tracts of land, is it?
No, it is not.
Okay. Now, we had talked a little bit about possibly amending this proposal, because really there are two separate closures that you're asking for. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And we had talked about, just to simplify this, and one seems to be very controversial, and one there's really no reason for it to be controversial, because literally it's land that used to be between two pieces of property that you owned, and that's all that was.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then there's the part of the Y-way that runs between you got 4604 and 4631, right? That's the other piece.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes, that's where he's talking about the
Okay.
Witzels would have about
Yeah.
40, 50 yards.
That's right, yeah,
Yes.
and so, and that's creating all this controversy, but there's a whole other chunk of land that is not between you and the Witzels at all.
That's correct,
Okay,
yes.
and if we were to amend this motion to grant closure to that portion of the road for now, and talk about the rest later, would that be acceptable to you?
Yes, sir, that would be acceptable.
Okay, and I'm going to come down here and speak from the lectern just for a moment. I hope everybody has their glasses on.
Oh, there's the maps. Yeah. I wish we had these that we could put up, but we don't have them.
Okay, now addressing my colleagues here, the part that is creating all this controversy is this chunk right here. This is their home, 4604, correct? Okay, and then down here is 4631. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so this is Witzel's down here, this is Gray's up here, and this is where Y-Way is. And if this were to be closed, half would go to them and half would go to the Witzels. But there's this other chunk here that is just, this all used to be their land. All this over here used to be their land. And Y-Way came down through here. It was never developed. It was never paved or anything like that. Is that correct? This other, there's no circle there. Okay, okay. So apparently this was going to be a cul-de-sac that was never developed in that way. And this other portion that's not between you and the Witzels, you're saying, well, maybe if you could just give us that That would be fine.
That would just give us a connection between our two current lots.
Right, and you might even be able to build if that were granted to you, is that correct?
He doesn't think it's enough,
Part of it
but
depends on if TDOT gives us any more
if we can end
land
up
on the
getting
other end, on the other side.
Commissioner Fox,
Okay,
there's
yes.
there's some handouts right there by you.
Yeah, we've got.
Like, give
Yeah.
us those,
We
because
brought these today because this is an aerial view that shows
Okay.
all the houses initially.
Yeah, okay.
If we can hand those out, that might be helpful.
Thank you, Commissioner Rawls.
Two, there's one with the,
There's six.
these are the houses.
It should be enough for five. This is,
This right here, there's
Oh,
not on one of
that.
these.
we had that last week, I believe. There was one that was used last week at the meeting. Yeah, that's the one you, yeah.
This is the one I had put together for you guys just to kind of show.
Right.
Yeah, kind of the two different areas that we
Right.
discussed.
Yeah,
So, Director Snowden, okay, you're the one who drew that map that I was referring to, is that correct?
Did everybody get that last week?
I did. We were trying to find a kind of a happy medium between the two property owners here. And that map does show kind of the half of what we were talking about, the old roadbed, and then the other half, which was the platted area for the turnaround that never got built, that does just adjoin the Grace property only. So yes, sir, that is something that I'd put together to hopefully try to give some options to this body.
Okay. Well, in light of that, now, Madam Chair, Mr. Moyers, if I have seconded the previous motion, can I amend this motion or ask for a substitute motion, or do I have to rely on someone else?
Well, if you seconded the motion that's on the floor, gosh, that's a good question. I think somebody else would have to amend it, or you could withdraw your second and offer a substitute motion.
Okay. All right, so I will,
Commissioner Fox, I kind of feel like that Ms. Witzel should be able to respond. I mean, the Grays have had a lot of time to explain to us, and I think she should have some time to explain how she feels about it. I mean, I just feel like that's kind of fair. Ms. Witzel, do you want to add anything?
certainly, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I've been squirming back there a little bit. So I actually did talk to Mr. Snowden about the amended, I guess, proposal agreement that was trying to mend fences. And I said, love it. Does it close the road? And he said, oh, I don't think it does. And then we had a 40-minute meeting, and we found out it does still close part of the road, even with the amendment. So I would still say we are opposed because we are trying not to reduce the road. So if the county could just not do anything to the road and just leave it like it is, that would be our desire.
Thank you. Commissioner Russell?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to make a motion to amend the closure and amend it to just close Wayway Lane after from the boundary line of 4631 and thereafter, to leave it open to the edge of 631, which is Miss Witzel's property, and therefore she would have that access for that, however many feet that is. And then the rest of it would be closed because they wouldn't need to have a fire truck go past their house if they're just concerned about the fire at their own home. So it would leave it open to the end of 4631, which is her property, but it would close Wayway Lane thereafter.
Okay. We have a motion to amend. Do we have a? Yeah. Commissioner Russell, you're going to need to repeat that for the clerk.
Yes, ma'am. I make a motion that we close Wayway Lane from the boundary of 4631 after, but that it remain open to the end of the boundary of 4631.
This out here would stay open, the part that
Yes, ma'am.
they
It's my understanding she's talking about this right here.
Right at the end, the southern boundary of 4631.
That map doesn't show the property that we own on the left-hand side of that. If you look at
Well,
that
it
handout
would-
that I gave,
Thereafter would be closed. Wayway
Okay.
Lane would be closed after it passes 4631. So there would be access from the main road on Wayway Lane to the end of 4631, which is Miss Witzel's property.
Okay, we've got amended motion. Is there a second? Okay, there's no second, so that dies for lack of a second. So we're back to the original motion. Commissioner Jay?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want some clarification from Mr. Snowden, because ultimately, his team is going to have to figure this out. Maybe you can help better explain Commissioner Russell's proposal? Does that work for you? Or help us navigate, please.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. And I had prepared this map some time ago and shared it with the Grays and Witzels. And I'm assuming everybody, I feel like show and tell up here. Everybody has a copy of this map, right?
No.
Is that correct? No, we not? Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, the right-of-way closure is kind of broke down into two areas. There's a linear portion and then an arc at the end. We have kind of pivoted off closing half that linear portion and just closing the arc at the end, which would represent this map, this area up here. I think, candidly, I think Ms. Witzel still has concerns with that because there is some of the roadway that is in that area, so there is still that concern. So I just wanted to make that aware as well. But that is my understanding, Commissioner Russell, that you're just looking at closing just the area where the end turnaround right-of-way exists. That was my understanding.
No, sir, actually, I was wanting to close it leave it open past Miss Witzel's property.
Oh, okay.
And at the end of her property, close it thereafter, that way, because they own all the property after that, so that way they have absolute access thereafter her property. And a fire truck could turn in there and be right beside her property. I wish I had where I could draw it.
Yeah, I think I made some clarity on that. I don't know if I understand either.
Madam Chair, I didn't make that motion, so I don't know why my name's up there.
There's just some issues.
Yeah.
All right, who,
Down through there,
I want to make sure that we have,
just right at the end.
Commissioner Lee, are you wanting to
Yes.
speak?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just had a question. I know there was some talk about an additional email from Rural Metro. I never got that. Could we see that email, or that said that they had no issue with the closure?
There it is, here it is. I don't have extra copies for everybody.
Okay, could I see it and then we could pass it around?
Oh, okay. There's no access from alcohol. Oh. I just shared it.
Do any of the other commissioners want to see this email, or did they not get it?
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
if I may.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you. I might just like to make a substitute motion because yours failed, that we postpone this for 30 days. Clearly, several of us have not been out there to physically walk it and look it, and with all the different possibilities that we are hearing about, I think it's very important that we put eyes on, all of us put eyes on this before we make this vote. So I'm making a motion that we postpone it until February voting meeting.
We've got a motion to postpone until February by Commissioner Hill and a second by Commissioner Durrett. Any further discussion, Commissioner J?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Stone, if this was deferred, is there a way that you could go out and put some cones out and say, this is exactly where, some flag, something, so we could all go out and kind of stand there? I mean, obviously, this is a special circumstance. I've never spent so much time on a road closure in all my commission days. But I think it's a valid point. This is a weird circumstance. So is that something you could mark off for us and give us a chance to, or just stick some signs or something that says, here's the proposal?
It's going to be hard without performing some field survey out there.
We're ready. We're planning on doing a survey.
Okay.
We've already contacted some people about it.
I think if you could do a survey and they could do some markings and we can see it, then I'm certainly comfortable going out there and considering it, but this is hard to
we've
see.
been looking for. I absolutely would love it if every one of you would come out there, because it's so different to look at this map and actually go look at the property.
Be careful what you ask for. You might have to make
Hey,
dinner.
come, we'll have a party.
All right, good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the map we've been trying to look at. Your lovely green and blue.
The Witzel's house doesn't even show up on it. It's further to the left than where the map quits. So it's on down the hill.
Terry, do you have any questions? Commissioner Hill?
I'm sorry.
Commissioner Thompson?
The property at the end of the green, if you go straight across that way, on that map, right in there, yeah, there's that extra 40 feet. You can see that the Witzel's own, up there where that line is, all the way down to the where it says EIP. So, so they own 40 more feet on that road right there, so they have access from the backside.
Okay. We've got commissioners that's wanting to ask a question, but we have an amended motion on the floor with a second to postpone this for 30 days. So does everybody still have questions?
I just have a comment, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's still showing 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Is it me?
Yes.
Or-
Fox.
Oh, Fox.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know we're getting ready to vote on the measure to postpone this, but I wanted people to be able to see the map, and the kind of substitute proposal that I was mentioning was that they get the blue part, and the green part is really what's in controversy here. That's the road that runs between the two properties. And the blue part is that additional track. And of course, this was brought to us by Director Snowden. Thank you, Director Snowden, for drawing this map.
And I would clarify, we've talked a lot about the state and the property there. The red line shows where the state bought fee to. If you'll notice, there's another line that runs kind of parallel to that is further to the north. That is the cut line, so that'll be where that cliff starts. So it's my understanding that between the red line and where that other line is, that's the property that I think the Grays would like to try to obtain back from the state. And they may be able to do so as part of a surplus right-of-way, but the road will have to be complete. So I just want to kind of explain a little bit more of that map, so.
Thank you. Are you good, Commissioner Fox? Okay. Commissioner Thompson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. For Director Snowden, it looks like the the Grays have about 85 feet of road frontage on Wyway Lane. What are if they were to build another house, what are the typical setbacks that they would be required to do from the property lines to build another house?
Are you zoned agricultural? Are you zoned agricultural? Do you know what your zoning is currently? I don't know. They may be RA or ag, and I'd have to look at the zone to establish the setbacks, Commissioner. We can do that. If you do decide to defer, we can kind of do some of that research and kind of give those setbacks next month if need be.
Okay, it looks like they're zoned RA.
Okay. I think the front yard you talking about the front yard?
Yeah, if they were to build another house right there, what would the typical setbacks have to be? Because it looks like they have 85 feet of road frontage on Wyway Lane. And so if there was some middle ground to give them enough road closure space to put a house, but not completely, cut off the Witzels from the safety concerns that they have with rural metro, is there a way? Because with 85 feet, that's a decent amount of road frontage. And space, so.
Yeah, that's certainly more than would be required in the RA zone. And we talked a little bit about this last week. Certainly, this is an acquisition for a road project, gives them the exemption on some setbacks too. So I think they could, if they got into a situation where they were a little short on a setback, that would be a very easy, variance to obtain at the Board of Zoning Appeals. We would support that variance just because it obviously was created, not of their doing, but by the Tennessee Department of Transportation.
Sure, so if we were to close Wildway Lane, but not take it to the property line, but take it, say, 40 feet into their property line. So it still gives them, say, 50 feet of road closure, but still gives the Witzels 30, 40 additional feet of road frontage to allow for emergency personnel to access the backside of their property. I don't know if that would be because it's, to me, I'm trying to figure out how do we address the safety concerns that Rural Metro has obviously reinforced, but also give the Grays the footprint to do also what they're wanting to do.
If I had just 30 more feet of the green part up there, because of where you have to be so far away from the property line to build anything, if I had 30 more feet of the green part, I'd be happy because I could build with the blue part plus 30 feet, and then the rest can stay the way it is.
So we don't necessarily have to close the entire portion of
I don't have to have the entire portion to build. And I wasn't going to change the road any. All I was going to do is put a house at the end of it.
Right.
And the road was just going to be a driveway instead of a road.
So in essence, you could put whatever portion of the road you closed, you could put a house on, and then that would just be an extended driveway.
Yeah.
But it would also continue to be part of the county road that the Witzels could access with Rural Metro.
Right.
Without taking it all the way to the edge of your property line.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that would be satisfactory to the Witzel, or if that
Yeah, I
would be
don't mind a compromise.
somewhere
I just want to be
in the
able to
middle.
build, you know?
And instead of taking all of it, because with 85 feet, that's a decent section of road.
Like I said, the blue part and about 30 feet of the green part would make my day. I could build then. It gives me close to 60 feet to put a house in there, and I can do that.
Are you done, Commissioner Thompson?
Because the setbacks and all that good stuff.
Are you done?
Yeah, I guess I would like to hear if that would be, if there's some common ground on both sides. And
I think my suggestion would be for Commissioner Fox and Director Snowden to sit down with the Grays and the Witzels and find the common ground before we vote on this. That's why we were trying to postpone it for 30 days so everybody can find a happy ground. So if that makes sense to everybody, I think that was the point. Commissioner Jackson?
Yeah, thank you. I thought I understood this when I first got in, and it's more complicated than than I expected. So, my recommendation is that before I vote on this, I'd like to see a survey and everyone agree on a survey, so that way we can really, instead of looking at old tax maps, I'd like to have a survey and a surveyor come here and explain to us where the lines are. So, but, yeah.
Thank you.
We are perfectly happy to do a survey. We had actually contacted a surveyor prior to the planning meeting last week because we thought that would be an advantage to have it. But the guy told me that he would give us an estimate, and I never heard back from him. So the planning meeting came up, and we didn't have anything ready. So, but we're perfectly willing to do a survey right now.
That would be.
As soon as we can find somebody that'll do it.
That'd be way after February, too.
Oh, that would be, is it take that long?
Yeah. Commissioner Lee? You do want to speak? Oh, you don't? Okay.
We've just confused it.
Okay. Are you done, Commissioner Jackson? Okay.
I actually tried to talk to, I went down and talked to Maynard Whistle a couple of months ago, and I wanted to talk to him about doing a compromise, and he was going to get with his daughter and get back with me. And the next thing I know, we're in here. They never discussed it. I owned property that blocks their view of the lake along through there, and I was going to offer that to them as some kind of a compromise to get off this other thing. But they never talked to me about it, so I just let it go. But see, I own all down the whole side of where the Whistles is, and it's higher ground. And it's a good view down there. But like I say, I was going to offer that to them as a compromise and whatnot, but they never, they wanted to come here and do this, I guess. So
Thank you.
Here we are.
We've got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Hill to defer until February, second by Commissioner Durrett. And in the meantime, Director Snowden, will you be able to get with both parties and Commissioner Fox?
Yeah, and one thing, I don't, because it sounds like that Mr. Gray is willing to compromise. It'd be nice if we could have the survey and then work with my codes department to figure out, okay, what size house, what's your footprint of your house look like, and put that on there and see how we can position that house to Mr. Gray, Mrs. Gray's liking, and then only close what we need so that then that gives Ms. Witzel as much as she can. So maybe we can do that, but that would require them to get a survey, and that's may not going to happen in the next 30 days. So I don't know their time frame, but I'll certainly sit down and meet with them. But prior to us having that survey, it's going to be, there's still going to be a lot of questions, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to amend that
If you want to do that, I mean, I think
90
the
days,
earliest would
60
be
days, what's your pleasure? What would be a reasonable time frame?
90 probably at least it's going to take.
Yeah, surveyors are tough.
All
I mean,
right,
they're
90
hard to
days.
get. So I think we might need, and I don't, like I said, I don't want to delay these folks, or I didn't want to cost them money. That's why we didn't ask them to do the survey. But due to all the complexity with this, I think we got to have a survey, and then we can sit down, and my codes department can look and see exactly where that house needs to be, and then we can figure out what we have to have or what they have to have. So
It may be 120, Terry.
is that okay, Mr. Gray?
I might just suggest the 90 days if the second is in agreement, and at that point, if they're not quite ready, perhaps trust Commissioner Fox to ask for an additional
Is
extension.
the second okay with that? Okay. Commissioner Russell, did you have something?
I was just going to say, because I deal with surveys on a very, very regular basis. Good luck getting one in 90 days. I have clients that are waiting 7, 8 months. And in fairness to both parties and knowing what their property lines are and what to expect going forward, I don't think it would be fair to the parties to make them wait for more than 90 days. And I just don't think we'll be able to get a survey in that amount of time. I mean, I was
Well-
talking to Commissioner Jackson, and he says as a banker, he can't get surveyors to call him back, and if they're going to call anybody back, they're going to call him back, so.
In 90 days, there could be an agreement between the two parties, and if not, like Commissioner Hill said, Commissioner Fox can certainly ask to delay that since it's his district. So we've got the motion on the floor to amend for 90 days. Commissioner Hill and a second by Commissioner Durrett. We're going to open the voting. If you'll place your votes. You may change your votes and close the votes. And that passed 11 to 0. So we will be postponing it for 90 days.
I want to thank you all for giving me this much time to work this, because I didn't really feel like you would, to tell you the truth, and I really appreciate it.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Witzel. Next item, please.
Line item transfers, total amount of $1,277,494.82.
Do I have a motion? A motion by Commissioner Thompson, second by Commissioner Durrett. Any discussion? Seeing none, open the vote. You may change your vote. And voting is closed. That passes 11-0. Next item, please.
Budget amendments, total amount of $28,332,655.82.
Got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Thompson and a second by Commissioner Jay. Any discussion? Seeing none, open the vote, please. You may change your vote. And voting is closed. That is 11-0, it passed. Next item, please.
Notary public applications, we have 241.
Yeah, I got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Thompson and a second by Commissioner Jackson. Any discussion? Seeing none, open the vote, please. I promise I'm leaving. You may change your vote. Voting is closed. That passed 11-0. Next item, please.
Item 33, spread of record, the order of the Knox County Mayor reappointing Nathan Butler to the West Knox Utility District Board of Commissioners. Item 34, spread of record, the Knox County Procurement Regulation changes. Item 35, spread of record, the grant application to the Christopher and Dana Reeves Foundation submitted by Knox County Parks and Recreation Department.
Thank you. Next item. Not on spread of record.
Okay, the next item is number 38, Resolution 502 is approving amendments to Contract 23-743 with Angelic Ministries and Contract number 23-747 with Volunteer Ministry Center to provide term of contract extensions federally funded through HUD CDBG CV program funds.
Thank you. We've got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Thompson and a second by Commissioner Durrett. Do we have discussion? I think this was pulled off for non-consent. Okay, open the vote. You may change your vote. And voting is closed. That passed 9 yes, 2 no. Next item, please.
Next item is number 43, ordinance O-25-12-102. It's creating Chapter 53 of the Knox County Code entitled Real Property in Section 53-1 prohibiting discrimination against United States citizens in the sale or purchase of real property in Knox County, establishing Chapter 53 of the Knox County Code previously reserved. This is on second reading.
Thank you. We've got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Fox and a second by Commissioner Russell. Any discussion? Seeing none, we will open the vote. You may change your vote. And voting is closed. That passed 11-0. We have done public forum. Do we have any other business? Nope. Commissioner Durrett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was just doing the dates in my brain. So just in case we don't meet before, the TCSA County Day on the Hill is coming up. It is the 22nd and 23rd, or 23rd and 24th, the Monday and Tuesday. So just wanted to make sure everybody was aware and remembered that that is happening.
Thank you. Commissioner Fox.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to recognize Director Mack. I think he's the first, the director of the first agency that did a spread of record for a grant request. I read it, I appreciate it, and I wanted to thank him. He was number one.
Thank you. Commissioner Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to let the community know that there is a local music festival this weekend with local artists called Waynestock. It's going to be at the Relix from 129 to 131, January 31st. It's for 3 nights, and the proceeds go to support Centro Hispano. And it's just a great opportunity to see local bands.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Jay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 2 announcements. One, looks like we're due for another winter blast this weekend. If people are interested in learning more about warming centers and about what we can do to support those who need warming shelters, they can go to knoxtnhousing.org. There are seeking volunteers, support, some supplies, et cetera. So just keep an eye on that, and if anybody, check on your neighbors, check on those in your community in another really, really cold weekend. I also want to congratulate our junior commissioners on finishing their very first official commission meeting. They went from being in the jail last night, we got them all out, and after their tour, and they learned a little bit about law and order, and they've survived their first commission meeting. We will continue our field trips next week. As we go to engineering and public works and planning, and a little field trip about how we do things out in the world of land use and road work. And then the week after, we will be going to the Forensic Center. So buckle up, and they're getting ready for their mock meeting already. So we'll be in touch about that.
Awesome. Commissioner Frazier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick reminder about the educational series on Monday. The topic is the budget, so we'll be meeting at 9 a.m. Please RSVP to Drew if you're going to be able to attend, and also if you would like a lunch. Again, this is optional. This is just a part of the educational series, so would love to see you all there.
Thank you. Commissioner Russell.
If we do have that snow, will that be rescheduled? Will you send out so we know whether to try to make it in on the slick roads or not? Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Durant.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Junior commissioners, stay put. We want to circle up for a second. I want to make sure we go over a couple of things for next week. Thank you.
Just a reminder, Knox County Engineering road crews are going to be out the next few days. Make sure you let your guys know that you appreciate it. Sir?
that training for the junior commissioners sounded wonderful. Is there any chance that you can put that or something on a video that citizens could go online and watch?
Come see me when you're done with the meeting.
Come see Commissioner Jay when we're done. Yeah, he can help with that. Also, if you're looking, and you can drive in the snow, you can always reach out to Mobile Meals. They're always looking for people to be able to deliver, if you drive in that. I do not, but, I would ride with somebody. So, thank you all. I hope you have a great evening, and, I have a motion to adjourn. I got a motion by Commissioner Frazier, second by Commissioner Rawls. Vote.
Close the vote.
He is really pushing it. Thank you. We are adjourned.